Chapter 688. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow used the 7-star glorious moon spear to shatter the sky-piercing spear, but the lightning was still there. Night Sorrow's body flashed and retreated quickly, but the lightning was still chasing after him. Night Sorrow had no choice but to take out a second sky-piercing spear and continue to use the 7-star glorious moon spear to block the lightning. Pah, pah, pah. Cracking sounds kept coming out as Night Sorrow's sky-piercing spear shattered one by one. When the 11th spear shattered, Night Sorrow only had one sky-piercing spear left. The lightning was offset by Night Sorrow's attack. Night Sorrow's heart ached when the sky-piercing spear was destroyed, but he had no choice. Currently, the sky-piercing spear was only left with the 5-clawed pterosaur's dragon tendon. However, Night Sorrow didn't feel relieved because the thunderclouds in the sky were still rolling. What's going on? Is it not over until we kill Night Sorrow? Sikongqiu's eyes were filled with anger and worry. No one can help him at this time. The lightning tribulation is a test for him. Our interception and attacks will be ignored. We didn't make a spirit-level weapon for him. This is our biggest mistake. Wu Lingfei's eyes were also filled with worry. Looking at the rolling thunderclouds, Night Sorrow planned to hide in the space-time treasure pagoda. After his body flashed, he realized that it was useless. There was an energy in the world that could block him from entering the space-time treasure pagoda. This meant that he could only face the lightning tribulation and couldn't escape. Night Sorrow took a deep breath and put on a pair of claw gloves. One was the azure claw glove, and the other was a custom-made claw glove from the Medicine Valley. He didn't have a weapon now, so this was all he could do. As for the spirit-level longsword in his storage ring, he couldn't use it at all and couldn't fight at all. Following the third explosion, lightning bolts shot towards Night Sorrow once more. This time, Night Sorrow activated the Golden Phoenix flexible armor. At the same time, he also activated his protective energy shield. He then executed the spatial splitter consummate skill. At present, Night Sorrow had consumed a lot of true chi, mainly because he had just advanced and had not yet stabilized his cultivation, so his true chi could not withstand his continuous attacks. In addition, the 2 consecutive lightning strikes had already injured Night Sorrow, so he did not dare to hold back. The Space Rend energy chop was very fast, and it collided with the lightning in midair, causing a series of explosions. After the first spatial tier was completed, Night Sorrow immediately sent out a second spatial tier. The lightning was weakened by Night Sorrow's spatial rend, but it still continued to press down. Night Sorrow's body continued to fly backwards. At the same time, he continued to unleash spatial cracks. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.ichuxs.com. After the 4th spatial tier was sent out, Night Sorrow's bloodline talent under the dragon bone was completely exhausted. However, at this time the lightning still had more than half of its power. With a low roar, Night Sorrow used the myriad Tao Tome's energy to protect his body. The true chi in his right hand and the power of Desolates in his left hand executed the shattering killing fist he had learned from Reverend Lu Shan. He continuously punched the lightning bolts that were chasing after him, and began to resist them with all his might. Bang, bang. Muffled sounds kept coming out. Night Sorrow, who had not been caught by the lightning bolts, continuously punched out to wear down the lightning bolt's energy. After a dozen punches, his gloves shattered. Night Sorrow did not care so much and continued to punch. After a dozen punches, Night Sorrow could no longer use his true chi. This was because his true chi was exhausted. If he forcefully activated his true chi again, there was the danger of his core shattering. In addition, his power of Desolates was also exhausted. Love go go shao shua 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 w. Aichux. Seum with a long roar, Night Sorrow's right hand changed to the myriad Tao Tome's energy, and his left hand changed to the profound jade spiritual energy. He once again attacked the weakened lightning bolts. When Night Sorrow's myriad Tao Tome's energy and profound jade spiritual energy were almost exhausted, the lightning bolts were also dispersed by Night Sorrow. Standing on the shore of the lake, Night Sorrow's body was trembling. He was currently extremely weak, and there was no energy left in his body. If the lightning calamity was not over, he would only end up being killed. At this time, the dark clouds in the sky dispersed and disappeared in an instant. A 5-colored light appeared and slowly fell on Night Sorrow's body. An extremely comfortable feeling spread to Night Sorrow's heart. Night Sorrow immediately sat down cross-legged and began to fully recover. As the various energies in Night Sorrow's body circulated, the 5-colored light was absorbed by Night Sorrow and disappeared into Night Sorrow's body. Success, he passed this trial. Wu Lingfei let out a sigh of relief. P permanent S free of charge E/look at little a and say, what's going on? Entering the venerable realm, there are actually 3 terrifying lightning calamities. This is asking for death. Yi Lingxia muttered. There are 2 possibilities for this situation. The first is that the heavenly Tao does not tolerate it, so the heavenly Tao created a lightning calamity to annihilate him. The second is that it is a test of the heavenly Tao. But no matter what the situation is, there will be great benefits after passing it. Wu Lingfei explained. Then everyone waited. After Night Sorrow's 5-colored light entered his body, he completely recovered. However, in order to not waste the 5-colored light's energy, he kept circulating his own energy and merged it into his body. After refining Night Sorrow, he realized that his soul power, myriad Tao Tome, power of desolates, true Qi and mysterious jade spiritual energy were all strengthened to different degrees. This made him very happy and he continued to meditate and cultivate. After cultivating for 2 hours, Night Sorrow's myriad Tao Tome entered the bottleneck of the 7th level of the Tao-seeking realm. Feeling that the 5-colored light's energy was wrapped in his own energy and could not escape, Night Sorrow stood up. Night Sorrow, congratulations on successfully passing the lightning calamity and entering the venerable realm. Wu Lingfei came in front of Night Sorrow and said, Thank you, Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Wu Lingfei. Then Yi Lingxia and Yi Linglan also congratulated Night Sorrow. The 2 of them had been scared out of their wits, afraid that Night Sorrow would not be able to withstand the lightning calamity. Then the members of the God-slaying team also came to congratulate Night Sorrow. Sigh. It's a pity that the 11 sky-piercing spears were destroyed. They have been through many battles with me. I didn't expect that only one would be left today. Thinking about the destruction of the 11 sky-piercing spears, Night Sorrow felt a little reluctant and sad. It was their mission to accompany you as you grew up. Now that their mission is complete, we will go to Qinji Tower later to get your weapon ready. Otherwise you won't even be able to fight, said Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow had successfully passed the lightning calamity and entered the venerable realm. This was a big deal. Then the group returned to Night Sorrow's residence to hold a banquet. However, no one dared to compete with Night Sorrow in drinking today. This was because Night Sorrow had just successfully advanced and had just survived the lightning calamity. His body might not be used to it yet. Night Sorrow was very happy. After all, he had taken the most important step and entered the realm he had always dreamed of. Night Sorrow believed that it would be very easy for him to kill a beginner venerable now. He might even be able to fight a mid-level venerable. After drinking for a while, the members of the God-slaying team left. They had to seize the time to cultivate diligently. Night Sorrow lowered his head and pondered. Night Sorrow, what are you thinking about? Yi Lingxia asked. Logically speaking, I should have contributed to the 9 Zones world. Back then, I fought in the Death Space and then I fought in the Supreme River Space. How could there still be a lightning tribulation? Night Sorrow voiced his confusion. Chapter 689. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. I see. What is the compensation? I don't know the details, but it will strengthen all kinds of energy in my body. Even the power of desolates, which is the most difficult to cultivate, will be improved. Love go little say, Night Sorrow said. This kind of compensation is very good. Well, you seem to be in a good state now. Take a rest. We'll go to Qinji Tower and ask Master K to forge a weapon for you, Wu Lingfei said. This matter is indeed urgent. The reincarnation spear is damaged now. If I use it again, it will be completely destroyed. I can't bear the consequences. I feel uncomfortable if I don't practice the spear for a day, Night Sorrow said. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow followed Wu Lingfei to the first base of the Qinji Tower in the Taiqing region. However, he did not see Lin Yuandao or Xiaolanjun there. Then Wu Lingfei brought Night Sorrow to the secret tower of the Qinji Tower headquarters. In the secret tower, the 2 of them saw Lin Yuandao. The Venerable Realm. Night Sorrow, you should be the youngest Venerable Realm expert in the history of the 9 regions world. Lin Yuandao was very happy to see Night Sorrow enter the Venerable Realm. He saw Night Sorrow as his successor. It's indeed not bad. You have the ability to fight above your level. Now that you've entered the Venerable Realm, ordinary Venerables will no longer be able to threaten your safety. Xiaolanjun also arrived at the secret tower. Don't mention it. I was shocked today. Night Sorrow encountered a thunder tribulation when he entered the Venerable Realm. It was not easy to survive 3 thunder tribulations. Wu Lingfei explained the situation at that time. It was not easy to survive 3 thunder tribulations. At the same time, it also shows that his aptitude is heaven-defying. It's good that he survived. Xiaolonjuan's heart skipped a beat. Since you guys are here, I have something to do next. I will upgrade your weapon to a spiritual weapon. Lin Yuandao pointed at the reincarnation spear on Night Sorrow's back and said with a smile. One is not enough. We need 2. Wu Lingfei pointed at the ice soak bag on Night Sorrow's waist and told him about Night Sorrow's soul doppelganger. 2 then. Lin Yuandao said with a smile. Then Night Sorrow took out the reincarnation spear and a pile of top-grade materials that he had prepared. Spatial refined iron? This thing is suitable for you. Your Yi clan's innate bloodline energy is of the spatial attribute. This spatial iron essence is of the spatial attribute. How about this? I will first upgrade your slightly damaged reincarnation spear. Then I will use the spatial essence iron as the main material to forge a new spear. Love Gone Little Say, W. Chulin Yuandao looked at the materials prepared by Night Sorrow and said. The spatial refined iron was given to him by Yu Jianghu during Night Sorrow's engagement ceremony. Then Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow to rest. Night Sorrow also needed to stabilize his cultivation. Lin Yuandao took the materials and went to forge a weapon for Night Sorrow. In the courtyard next to the secret watchtower of Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow began to organize his gains after his advancement. After entering the Venerable Realm, Night Sorrow's cultivation became very smooth. His control of the energy of heaven and earth became stronger. At the same time, his true qi burst out more fiercely and with greater power. This was because his true qi contained the power of the soul. Night Sorrow felt that something was missing when he couldn't cultivate spear techniques. He cultivated the Hand of Desolation, the Mystic Ice Claw, and the Killing Fist. As for the heaven-covering hand, it was now replaced by the Hand of Desolation. After cultivating for half a month, Night Sorrow had completed the improvement and adaptation of his body, palm, and fist techniques after his advancement. On this day, Night Sorrow had just finished cultivating when Lin Yuandao appeared with 2 spears in his hands. Take a look. See if you are satisfied. Lin Yuandao handed the 2 spears to Night Sorrow. Yong Jiu Wavel Fi look at small I say Yishang put down one of the spears and picked up another one. He picked up a long spear with a silver shaft and a pitch-black blade. Yishang knew that this was the reincarnation spear just by feeling it. Because the spear had been with him for the past few years, Night Sorrow had some connection with the reincarnation spear. This was also the feeling that came from cultivating the realm of one with the spear. With a flick of his wrist, Night Sorrow displayed his spear technique. Night Sorrow felt that the reincarnation spear was a little different from before. It didn't obstruct his true qi, and after his true qi burst out, it was smooth all the way. This was the difference between a spiritual weapon and an ordinary weapon. Ordinary weapons had more impurities and obstructed energy. Therefore, they would be destroyed by the tyrannical energy of a venerable realm cultivator. In addition, insufficient strength was also a problem. As Night Sorrow displayed his spear technique, the sound of energy exploding continuously rang out. With the improvement of Night Sorrow's cultivation and the improvement of the quality of the reincarnation spear, the power of Night Sorrow's spear technique had increased greatly. After displaying a few spear techniques, Night Sorrow put away his spear and bowed to Lin Yuandao. It's very suitable. Its power has increased a lot. Thank you, Lord Quebec. Because the materials you brought are of a high level, these 2 spears are both high-grade spiritual weapons. I can only forge them after advancing to the Saint Realm. I definitely couldn't do it before. Lin Yuandao said with a smile. That's great. Night Sorrow was very happy. High-grade spiritual weapons are the highest spiritual weapons that can be forged in the current 9 regions world. Supreme-grade spiritual weapons and holy treasures are almost all self-evolved. As long as a high-grade spiritual weapon is nourished properly, it will produce a weapon spirit. However, weapons are an exception. They won't produce a weapon spirit, but with the nourishment of the user's energy and true qi, they will still advance. Wu Lingfei appeared in the courtyard. Thank you, Lord Quebec. Night Sorrow bowed to Lin Yuandao. It could be said that this had solved a big problem. All void inquiry stage cultivators would face this big problem after advancing to the Venerable Realm. They could not use their previous weapons. It was hard to say if they could get a spiritual weapon. Besides, it was also a big problem whether it was suitable for them. Take Night Sorrow for example. If his reincarnation spear could not advance and he could not find a suitable spear-type spiritual weapon, his combat power would be greatly reduced. There's one more thing that you have to pay attention to. You can use this high-grade spiritual weapon now because you have been fighting with it for a long time. You have already reached a certain degree of compatibility with it. However, you can't use the second spear. You need to constantly nourish it with your own energy and true qi. Only when you reach a certain degree of compatibility can you use it. Otherwise it will be like a child wielding a huge blade. Lin Yuandao reminded Night Sorrow. Thank you, Lord Quebec. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow bowed to Lin Yuandao again. These materials are superfluous. Keep them. Lin Yuandao took out some materials and placed them in front of Night Sorrow. I don't need them anymore. I'll leave them to Tianji Tower. Whoever needs them in the future can take them. Night Sorrow did not have the intention to take back the materials. No. For example, you have to keep this spatial refined iron. If the weapon is damaged and needs to be repaired or upgraded, it will also need materials. Of course, materials with the same origin are the best. Lin Yuandao said with a smile. He was quite happy. He was happy that Night Sorrow was generous and that Night Sorrow was willing to contribute to Tianji Tower. Keep them. I believe that Lord K is already very happy that you have such a kind heart. Xialanjun came to the courtyard and said with a smile. It's still the Supreme Elder who understands my heart. Night Sorrow, you can treat Tianji Tower as your home and are willing to contribute to Tianji Tower. This is what I feel most gratified about. Lin Yuandao said. But I feel a little embarrassed. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Chapter 690. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That's not suitable. Night Sorrow's aptitude is shallow, and he hasn't done anything for Tianji Tower. I really can't accept the position of young master. However, as long as Tianji Tower needs me, Night Sorrow will definitely do his best. Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment, then he refused. You haven't done anything for Tianji Tower? You've done enough. We all agree that you're suitable, Lin Yuandao said. At the very least it's not suitable for now. The Night Clan has returned, and battles with the other dynasties are inevitable. I'm a descendant of the Night Clan, and I must participate in any battles. Therefore, I don't want to make things difficult for Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow expressed his own concerns, which was also the reason why he admitted that he was not suitable. Night Moon Dynasty is Tianji Tower's best partner and ally. Night Moon Dynasty was ambushed back then because the other party wanted to eliminate Tianji Tower's help. Tianji Tower and Night Moon Dynasty have a very deep friendship. It can be said that they advance and retreat together. Otherwise, Tianji Tower wouldn't have sent people to defend the border of Night Moon Dynasty. Therefore you don't have to worry about this. Xialanjun explained why Night Sorrow's position as young master would not conflict with the future battles. You should have no more worries now, right? Lin Yuandao said with a smile. Not really. I have a very good relationship with Yun Huang and Ling Long. We're all brothers and sisters who have gone through life and death together. This kind of thing will affect them. I don't want to hurt our relationship. Night Sorrow expressed his concerns. You don't have to worry about this matter. We'll take care of it. You're the young master from today onwards. Xialanjun glared at Night Sorrow. All right. Then Night Sorrow will accept it. Night Sorrow bowed and said. You're still forcing yourself. Do you know what it means to be the young master of Tianji Tower? The position and identity of the young master is only second to the palace master and grand elder, and is equivalent to the vice palace master. It is higher than the other palace masters and elders, which means that they have to listen to your orders. Xialanjun looked at Night Sorrow and said gloomily. Many people were jealous of this position, but Night Sorrow didn't care. So that's how it is. However, Night Sorrow will know his limits and will not act recklessly. I will also respect the opinions of the seniors, Night Sorrow said. You're right. They're all seniors. We have to respect them, Xialanjun said with a smile after hearing Night Sorrow's words. She liked Night Sorrow's character and temper. Lin Yuandao smiled and said, I have always been worried about the future of the younger generation and the future of the Empyrean Apex Citadel. Now that the stone in my heart has been lifted, Yishan, you should also celebrate for yourself. Take out some wine. Night Sorrow nodded and took out a few jars of wine and placed them on the table. While drinking, Lin Yuandao changed Night Sorrow's token into a pure gold one. In addition, his mask was no longer the celestial mask. It was also a golden mask. Palace Master, please explain to Yun Huang and Ling Long. I don't want to see them hurt because of this. However, I don't think they will either, Night Sorrow said. Don't worry. I'll go with Elder Hua later to explain to them, Lin Yuandao said. Yun Huang and Ling Long had entered Tianji Tower through Hua Haining's assessment. It would be better for Hua Haining to attend the exchange. After staying in Tianji Tower for a while, Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei returned to the city in the sky. Lin Yuandao called Hua Haining to follow them. When they arrived at the city in the sky, Lin Yuandao and Hua Haining called Ling Long and Yun Huang over to talk. Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei returned to the mansion. Q version. After communicating with Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei and Aoi, Night Sorrow sent Wu Lingfei to the attic to rest. Then he went to the lake to practice his spear technique and body movement technique. After entering the venerable realm, Night Sorrow had to strengthen himself in all aspects. After obtaining the advanced reincarnation spear, Night Sorrow naturally had to strengthen his spear technique. He had to strengthen the coordination between his spear technique and his body movement technique to increase his combat strength to the greatest extent. He knew that cultivation served actual combat strength. Night Sorrow held the reincarnation spear in his hand and carried it on his back. This was to cultivate the compatibility. After cultivating for a while, Night Sorrow carried the reincarnation spear on his back. He took out the long spear with spatial attributes and waved it twice. With this wave, Night Sorrow discovered the characteristics of this spear, which was that its spatial cutting power was very strong. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow gave this new spear a name, the air-splitting spear. When Night Sorrow held the air-splitting spear and performed the unity of man and spear to find the feeling, Yun Huang and Ling Long flew down from the rock wall beside the city in the sky and landed beside Night Sorrow. "You two guys are here." Night Sorrow carried the air-splitting spear on his back and said, "Night Sorrow, what are you thinking? I, Yun Huang, will not have any thoughts about you becoming the young master. I will only be happy." The young master said that you are not willing to do it. In fact, we are not willing to do it either. You are afraid of hurting our brotherhood. Then let me tell you, such a thing does not exist. Yun Huang stepped forward and punched Night Sorrow's shoulder. "I am a woman. I am not interested in being an official. It is very good that you are the young master. I am sincerely happy, so don't make blind guesses. Our brotherhood will not change." Ling Long also said, "Actually, I am also not interested in being the young master. I am being forced to do something beyond my ability. There is nothing I can do about it." Night Sorrow said, I know you. You are the young master of the Night Moon Dynasty, but I don't see you putting on airs. This shows that you are not interested in power. Your 2 spears are not bad. Did the Tianji Tower help you make them?" Yun Huang said, "Yes, I provided the materials. The young master helped me refine them." Night Sorrow said with a smile, "You should have asked me. I can probably refine spiritual weapons now. I don't need you to provide the materials. How about this? I can help you make a spear pouch. It will be more convenient to carry the spears." Yun Huang said, "Okay. Also, you can refine spiritual weapons. Can you help me upgrade this?" Night Sorrow took out his only remaining sky-piercing spear. "You really want me to do it? I am currently practicing refining weapons. My scimitar has not been upgraded yet." Yun Huang said with some embarrassment. "No problem. When is it convenient for you to do it for me? I have some materials here." Night Sorrow said, "That is not necessary. Remember that wine you promised me? I will double it." Yun Huang said with a smile. "Okay, no problem." Night Sorrow of course knew what Yun Huang was talking about. He was talking about the Sun Dragon wine. "Captain, this is your fault. You have good wine and can give it to Yun Huang. Why can't I have a share? Am I not your brother or sister?" After listening to Night Sorrow and Yun Huang's conversation, Ling Long was somewhat unwilling. That is a wine for men. It is not suitable for women." Night Sorrow said with a smile. "I don't believe it. What wine can be drunk by men but not by women? Give it to me." Ling Long stretched out her hand to Night Sorrow. Chapter 691. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. 2 shameless people drinking any kind of wine. I don't want this kind of wine. Give me another jar. Ling Long looked at Night Sorrow and Yun Huang with disdain. Night Sorrow took out 3 jars of wine. The 3 of them went to the wooden boat and started drinking and chatting. "This is a good thing. Night Sorrow, now that you're the young master, at least we don't have to worry about some powerful people coming out to bully us in the future." "Ah," Yun Huang said happily. "Indeed, Yun Huang and I have never thought about being the young master. However, if someone else becomes the young master, it will be troublesome for us. Should we listen to them or not? If we don't, we'll be disobeying them," Ling Long said. "Ah, We just have to do our own thing. There's no need to think about other things, Night Sorrow said with a smile. The three of them drank for a while and returned to Night Sorrow's mansion. Lin Yuandao and Hua Haining were there in Night Sorrow's mansion. Well, the three of you have a deep friendship and can fight side by side. This is a good situation, Lin Yuandao said with a nod. Our captain is thinking too much. If someone else becomes the young master we might not be convinced, but our captain is fine with it, Ling Long said. It's good that you're all fine with it. Elder Hua and I will go back first. You three, if you need anything, come find us at Tianji Tower. Also, there are other members of Tianji Tower in the God-slaying squad. You three take good care of them, Lin Yuandao said and left Night Sorrow's mansion with Hua Haining. Soon after, Yun Huang and Ling Long also left. They had come to see Yi Shang to express their attitude. They wanted to show that their friendship would not be affected by Yi Shang taking over as the young master of the Empyrean Terminus Tower. After everyone left, Night Sorrow told the three girls about what happened at the headquarters of Tianji Tower. 2 high-grade spirit spears. 13, you're really something. Yang Lei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. Then Night Sorrow talked about how he had taken over the position of the young master of Tianji Tower. Haha, we're all from Tianji Tower. If Sha Dan is the one in charge of Tianji Tower in the future, we'll also have a headache. With the power in your hands, at least we won't be bullied. Xikong Chu was also very happy. Oh, forever, too free of charge. Read L Novel 13. Now that you've entered the Exalt realm, you should organize everything you've learned in the past. Only then would you be able to develop steadily. Oi said. She was the calmest of them all. I understand. I should focus on stabilizing my cultivation for now. However, I still have to go into seclusion first. My body's cultivation has also reached the critical point of a breakthrough. Night Sorrow glanced at his body and said. I really have to hand it to you. You've improved so quickly in all aspects. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said with some emotion. After drinking tea for a while, Night Sorrow entered the secret cultivation room. After taking out the spirit jade stone stool that contained life energy, Night Sorrow sat down cross-legged and placed the 2 spears on his legs. Then he took out the black tortoise spirit crystal and began to cultivate. The advancement of the myriad Tao Tome was relatively easy. As long as there was enough energy in the body, it would naturally advance. Night Sorrow cultivated naturally. At the same time, he nourished the 2 spears on his knees. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, he also naturally refined the 5-colored light in his body. That was the heavenly Tao's compensation after the lightning calamity. It was helpful to him in all aspects, and it was a fundamental help. It increased the density of his true qi, the strength of his tendons, meridians, flesh, and bones. His soul power was also stained with some of the 5-colored light, making his soul power more complete. In addition, it also strengthened the walls of his Dantian and Spirit Sea. After half a day, Night Sorrow's myriad Tao Tome entered level 8 of the Tao Querying Realm. Not only was the energy of the myriad Tao Tome stronger, but Night Sorrow's body was also strengthened. His strength had also increased. His essence Qi smoke had also reached more than 5 zhang. After the advancement of the myriad Tao Tome, Night Sorrow did not come out of seclusion. He stabilized his cultivation and cultivated at the same time. He communicated with Shao Kong to help him. That was to continue cultivating his soul power and bloodline power. His true qi and myriad Tao Tome's cultivation were stabilized and settled. After cultivating for half a month, Night Sorrow came out of seclusion. After coming out of seclusion, his mental state was extremely good. It could be said that he could be considered a true honorable now. His cultivation had stabilized, and his battle skills and movement skills had also caught up with the rhythm. Night Sorrow came to the training ground where the God-slaying squad was cultivating. He drank tea and watched everyone cultivate. During the interval of drinking tea, Night Sorrow asked about the situation of the resources. He was only relieved when he heard that there was no problem with the resources. Night Sorrow was very tired of Night Sorrow. After cultivating for a while, she would run to Night Sorrow's place to chat. Seeing that everyone was cultivating in full swing, Night Sorrow greeted Xikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, and Aoi before returning to the secret cultivation room. This time, Night Sorrow was cultivating with a specific purpose. His true qi and myriad Tao Tome were naturally stabilized. While the time-space treasure pagoda was assisting him in cultivating his soul power and bloodline power, Night Sorrow took the desolate stone and started cultivating. He wanted to absorb the energy of the desolate stone to strengthen his power of desolates. Usually, Night Sorrow did not have such an opportunity. This was because he usually held the black tortoise spirit crystal to cultivate the myriad Tao tome. Now that the myriad Tao tome needed to be stabilized, he could spare some time. Night Sorrow cultivated day and night. He had 4 desolate stones and he needed about 10 days to refine each desolate stone. When Night Sorrow did not come out of seclusion for more than a month, Yang Lei felt like scolding him. Ninth junior sister, calm down. Night Sorrow is cultivating, not seclusion. Don't worry. Looking at Yang Lei, who was pacing back and forth, always said, that's right. If he's not in seclusion, why can't he come out and rest? Doesn't he know that others are worried? Doesn't he know that he has a family? Yang Lei said angrily. Sometimes he has some enlightenment. How can he stop when he has enlightenment? Alright, sit down and have a cup of tea. Aoi pulled Yang Lei to sit down and poured her a cup of tea. I'm not angry at him. It's just that he doesn't cherish himself. It's too tiring. Yang Lei took a deep breath and said. Sikong Chiu did not say anything. She also felt the same. She did not want Night Sorrow to be too tired. Just as the 3 women were drinking tea, Night Sorrow came out. After more than a month of seclusion, Night Sorrow finally strengthened the power of desolates in the 4 desolate stones. The power of desolates in his body had also strengthened by a lot. It could be said that his arms were now filled with power of desolates. However, the amount was not enough. He was unable to convert the myriad Tao treasured book's attributes. Night Sorrow's goal was to accumulate power of desolates and convert the myriad Tao treasured book's attributes. However, Night Sorrow also had some concerns. The myriad Tao treasured book contained power of desolates. If he cultivated according to his current cultivation method, would it work? Once the energy was converted, what would he do if he could not absorb the energy from the Shen Turtle Crystal and Blood Spirit Turtle Crystal? If he could only rely on the power of desolates, where would he find so much power of desolates? Looking at Night Sorrow, who had his head lowered, the 3 women stood up. Chapter 692. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with interesting novels to read. It's refining the desolate stone. It's refining it in one go. After sitting down, Night Sorrow was still thinking about it. He was still confused. Can't you come out and rest before going into seclusion to cultivate? Yang Lei stared at Night Sorrow. I'm sorry. I lost track of time while cultivating. 9th senior sister, 6th senior sister, Chiu, please don't be angry. I didn't do it on purpose. Night Sorrow stood up and smiled apologetically. Then he poured tea for the 3 girls. Even if you want to be angry, you can't. However, you have to cherish yourself. Cultivation requires hard work, but we are really worried about you. Yang Lei said. Be careful. I will be careful in the future. Night Sorrow said. You have been thinking about it? Did something happen? Sikong Chiu asked Night Sorrow. I am a little confused. I don't know how to deal with it. Night Sorrow didn't hide anything from the 3 girls and told them about the current situation. This is indeed a worrying problem. Your myriad Tao treasured tome's attribute has changed, so your combat strength will increase. However, without the absorption of the power of desolates, your body tempering cultivation will remain stagnant. Then the losses will outweigh the gains. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said, Love go little say, Netku, that's what I am worried about. Night Sorrow nodded and said, 13 Can you do this? Fuse a little of the power of desolates into the energy in your body and observe it slowly. Maybe your body's energy will have the characteristics of the power of desolates and it won't hinder the advancement of your cultivation, Qingji said. 6th senior sister, you mean to increase the quantity of the myriad Tao treasured tome's energy and use the power of desolates as its quality. Night Sorrow's eyes lit up. Give it a try first. If it works, you can fuse with it. The smoothest outcome is that your body tempering cultivation level will not be delayed. The improvement of the energy quality requires the power of desolates. Aoi nodded. Night Sorrow stood up and walked a few steps away. However, he soon came back and smiled at the 3 girls in embarrassment. Why aren't you leaving? Why don't you go and cultivate? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow, her eyes already smoking. No, I'm just warming up, Night Sorrow explained with a smile. If you dare to cultivate now, I will immediately tear down your secret cultivation room, Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. Then he suggested that they go to the lake to roast fish and drink wine. The 3 women were satisfied with this suggestion. Then they went to the wooden boat by the lake. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, Tianyu, who was originally resting here, was very happy. He kept being intimate with Night Sorrow. Get me a few big fish. Night Sorrow patted Tianyu's neck. After receiving Night Sorrow's signal, Tianyu flew directly into the lake. Soon 2 fish were caught by Tianyu. After cleaning them up, Night Sorrow roasted them. I've been in seclusion for a month. What's the situation outside? Could it be that it has quietened down? Nothing's going on, Yang Lei said. The moon is very round. Is it the day to pay respects to the ancestors of the Yi family? Night Sorrow said. Tomorrow is the day to pay respects to the full moon. Last month, the 3 of us went to pay respects on your behalf, Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow nodded. Thank you for your hard work. I'll leave it to you to take care of such things. After that, they ate the roasted fish and drank wine while chatting casually. Night Sorrow had not been so relaxed for a long time. 6th Senior Sister, when can we reach the Venerable Realm? Shursan runs too fast. We can't catch up to him even if we try to catch up. Yang Lei, who was already at the peak of the 6th level of the Void Inquiry stage, gave Night Sorrow a glance and said, Why are you two still in a hurry? I'm not even in a hurry. Always said with a smile. When 6th Senior Sister reaches the 3rd level of the Void Inquiry stage and eats the Void Extreme Pill, it will be very fast for you to advance to the 4th level of the Void Inquiry stage. Sikong Chuyu, who was also at the peak of the 6th level of the Void Inquiry stage, said, Everyone, don't be in a hurry. Cultivate slowly. Your foundation must be stable. Night Sorrow said, Aren't you embarrassed to say that to us? Why don't you cultivate slowly? Yang Lei glared at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled embarrassedly. Speaking of this matter, he felt a little guilty. 9th Junior Sister, you've already scolded him a few times. Shursan has been accompanying you with a smile. How about this? Let's go to Night Moon City tomorrow. Shursan, you can also relax. It's no big deal to postpone your cultivation for a while. Oi said. Night Sorrow nodded. He also understood that he needed to spend some time with the 3 ladies. 13th Junior Brother, I'm sorry. 9th Senior Sister is a little excited. Yang Lei suddenly felt that she was a little strict. No matter what, Night Sorrow was the young master of Night Moon City and the young master of Tianji Tower. It was not appropriate for her to yell at him. Night Sorrow did not mind. It would not be good if others heard it. It's nothing. I really didn't spend much time with you. Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei did not say anything. However, she knew that she had to change. Although Night Sorrow did not mind, it was not the same as before. The few of them chatted and drank until midnight before returning to the mansion. Night Sorrow sent Aoi back to the mansion first. 6th Senior Sister, if there's anything, just tell me. I'm a little careless. Very good. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Go back and accompany the 2 of them. Aoi hugged Night Sorrow and returned to the attic to rest. When Night Sorrow returned to the mansion, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu were still there. Since you haven't left, then don't leave. Night Sorrow held each of their hands and entered the bedroom. The red candles burned and the gauze curtains swayed. The room was filled with charm. 4 hours later, the 3 of them stopped fighting. 13. I only said a few words to you today and you took revenge. My body is about to collapse. You almost took it apart. My waist is a little numb. Yang Lei muttered unhappily when she saw Night Sorrow coming out of the bathroom. Night Sorrow smiled. You were the one who kept yelling. Weren't you afraid? What could I do to you? Now you know that your waist hurts? That's right. I can prove it. 9th Senior Sister was yelling very loudly just now. Sikong Chuyu, who was combing his hair, said. That's so embarrassing. Let's not talk about it anymore. Let's meditate and cultivate. Yang Lei sat down cross-legged and began cultivating. Sikong Chuyu combed his hair and also entered a state of cultivation. Night Sorrow also began to meditate as he watched the 2 girls cultivate. While he was meditating, his pair of spears were placed on his legs. Q latest chapter T verse O previous. After washing up and eating breakfast in the morning, Night Sorrow and the others went to the martial arts arena. He was going to Night Moon City. However, before he went, he wanted to see how his brothers were doing with their cultivation. When they saw Night Sorrow, the members of the god-slaying squad cupped their hands and greeted him. Xueling Ho Jian, is everyone alright? Night Sorrow glanced at the members of the god-slaying squad and asked the 2 vice-captains. No problem at all. Everyone has mastered the technique of using energy. Xueling took a step forward and said. Chapter 693. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. There's no problem at all. During this period of time, 6th Senior Sister has also been refining pills for us. Nan Liu stood up and said. That's right. Nan Liu stood up and said. Okay, that's good. Also, if you're worried about your family or the sect, you can go back together. If you encounter any difficulties, just let me know, Night Sorrow said. Seeing that Night Sorrow was done dealing with the god-slaying squad, Yun Huang walked over to Night Sorrow's side. This is the holster I made for you. Try it on. It'll be more comfortable to carry. As he spoke, Yun Huang took out a holster that was half a foot long. It was hollowed out. New percent and fastest, Jup, Yuzi, not bad, it looks beautiful, Night Sorrow said as he took the gun from the holster. It's designed to be hollowed out so that the weapon can be nourished by the energy leaking from the body, Yun Huang explained to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow then put the gun holster on his back and inserted the two guns into it. After chatting with everyone for a while, Night Sorrow brought Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei and Aoi to Night Moon City. When the citizens of Yue City saw Yi Shang and the others, they all bowed in greeting. After what had happened during this period of time, Yi Shang's prestige in Yue City was extremely high. Everyone knew that the current situation of Night Moon was brought about by Night Sorrow. They also knew that their young master had risked his life to investigate the situation in the alternate dimension in order to stabilize Night Moon. Night Sorrow and the three girls sat on the beast carriage and walked around the city on Night Moon. They even had some food in a restaurant. Night Moon City feels very comfortable, very different from the hustle and bustle of other cities, Sikong Chuyu said. Indeed. It gives off a very peaceful feeling. Look at the many people walking on the streets. There are also vendors on both sides of the street, but no one is making a ruckus. The quality is indeed very good, Yang Lei said. That's why we have to learn from 9th junior sister, Always said with a smile. 6th senior sister is here again. I'm trying to change it now, Yang Lei said. After eating some food, Night Sorrow paid the bill despite the restaurant's refusal. Night Sorrow then called for a beast carriage. Night Sorrow's heart skipped a beat when he saw the carriage driver because he recognized him. Without saying anything, Yi Shang brought the three women onto the beast carriage and rushed towards Yuetian. Then Yi Shang saw flying beasts in the sky. Night Moon City allows flying mounts? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, it happened half a month ago. Because our young master's brothers and friends cleared out all the high-level demonic beasts in the wilderness and deep mountains near Night Moon City, flying mounts are allowed in Night Moon City, the carriage driver said. Night Sorrow, let's use flying mounts then, Yang Lei said. So you all have flying mounts? Then I'll stop by the side, the carriage driver said with a smile. No. I'll take the beast carriage today, Night Sorrow said with a wave of his hand. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow with some confusion, but she didn't ask. Night Sorrow must have his reasons for making such a decision. Even if there wasn't a reason, she had to accompany him. Love go go shao shua 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 w. Ai chux. Xiaoman Night Moon City, Night Sorrow got off the beast carriage and handed 2 high-grade spirit stones to the carriage driver. No, just 2 low-grade spirit stones will do, the carriage driver shook his head and said. Uncle, when I first came to Night Moon City, I took your beast carriage to go to Night Moon City. At that time, you took half of the fare and said that you hoped that I wouldn't blaspheme the Night Moon City. Therefore, the glory of the Night Moon City is defended by you all. Night Sorrow is grateful. Night Sorrow bowed to the carriage driver. Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei and Aoi also cupped their hands to the carriage driver. They understood why Night Sorrow still wanted to take the beast carriage even after knowing that flying mounts were allowed. Night Sorrow. You are the young master. Young master, please don't be like this. The carriage driver hurriedly bowed in return. Take these spirit stones and cultivate diligently. The glory of the Night Moon still needs to be defended by everyone. Night Sorrow stuffed the spirit stones into the carriage driver's hands. Take it. Night Moon is honored to have citizens like you all. It is also the glory of the Night Moon. Yi Lingxie appeared and nodded to the carriage driver. Night Sorrow waved at the carriage driver again and brought the 3 girls to follow Yi Lingxie to Night Moon City. When they arrived at Yi Lingxie's residence, Yi Lingxie wanted to make tea, but Yang Lei took the teapot away. 6th uncle, you don't have any servants here? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. 6th uncle doesn't need them. I usually sweep the courtyard and take care of the flowers and plants. It can also be considered as a form of cultivation, Yi Lingxie said with a smile. Here are the spirit stones. 6th uncle, please take them first. The medicinal pills will have to wait. I don't have time to study alchemy recently. Later I will refine a batch of medicinal pills. Night Sorrow took out 2 storage rings and handed them to Yi Lingxie. Night Moon is currently on the right track. There is no shortage of resources and it will slowly enter a virtuous cycle. Our Night Moon citizens can live a hard life. You can keep the resources. Yi Lingxie pushed the storage rings to Night Sorrow. It's still enough for me. The people of Yi you are able to live a tough life. They've endured for so many years, but since we've decided to stand up again, we can't let them live a sullen life anymore. Just like the coachman uncle today, the Yi family has the responsibility and obligation to let them live a better life. Night Sorrow said. Back then it was the carriage driver uncle who had taught him his first lesson. The glory of Night Moon was in everyone's hearts. That's good. Sixth uncle will take it. You're right. Our Yi clan owes them. Yi Lingxie nodded. Also contact the Yi clan again. If there is anything we need, just tell us. If we can do it, we will do it. If we can't, we will do it. Night Sorrow expressed his attitude. I just contacted them. Right now, the upper echelons of the Yi clan are in seclusion. Some of the disciples have also entered a state of frenzied cultivation. There is no need for us to worry. Yi Lingxie shook his head at Night Sorrow. After that, Night Sorrow and the others chatted casually with Yi Lingxie. Yi Lingxie also told Night Sorrow about the Yi clan's situation with the spatial fissures. It wasn't much different from Wu Lingfei's analysis. The cultivation path was almost the same. The only difference was that the Yi clan members had strengthened their cultivation in this area since they were young. In the Sea of Night Moon, there was a cultivation treasure land with strong spatial attributes. The Yi clan members all cultivated their foundation there. Because of the spatial energy, the Yi clan members' talent was strengthened at a young age. This also let Night Sorrow know why his bloodline talent was activated late. It was because he had started late. You don't have the help of the blessed land, but you still cultivate the spatial fissures very well. Yi Lingxie smiled at Night Sorrow as he spoke. I was taught by Auntie Fei. Otherwise, I would only know that the bloodline talent would increase my battle strength. I didn't even know about the existence of a unique talent, Night Sorrow said. Chapter 694. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Little? We provide you with interesting novels to read. Later, I'll go to the Sea of Night Moon to cultivate the spatial crack technique and see if I can do it or not. Night Sorrow said. Alright. Sixth uncle will accompany you then. Yi Lingxie nodded. Night Sorrow had entered the Venerable Realm and awakened 5 innate bloodline energy points, which allowed him to cultivate the authentic spatial crack technique. When the moon rose, Yi Lingxie brought Night Sorrow and the others to the stone tablet in the night moon sky. At this moment, there were many people gathered in front of the stone tablet in the night moon sky. The administrators of Wuyo City, Wumo City and other cities who had teleportation formations had all arrived. When they saw Night Sorrow and Yi Lingxie, they all bowed to greet them. Yi Lingxie waved his hand. There's no need for so much etiquette. Burn incense for the heroes of the Yi clan who died in battle. First, Night Sorrow brought Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei and Aoi to burn incense in front of the stone tablet. Then Yi Lingxie brought some Venerable Realm experts of the Night Moon Sky branch and the administrators of the other cities. 4 forever exempt $W fee. Look, little number 0 say 1y. Our young lord has already killed countless Venerable Realm experts when he was just at the 5th grade Void Inquiry stage. Now he has even entered the Venerable Realm. He is worthy of being called the King of the Night Moon. With such a young lord, why would we need to worry about the Night Moon standing at the top of the 9 regions again? Therefore, everyone can relax and cultivate. Yi Lingxie looked at the people of the Night Moon who were paying their respects to the Yi clan's martyrs and said. After hearing Yi Lingxie's words, the people of the Night Moon bowed to pay their respects to their young lord again. Night Sorrow doesn't deserve everyone's respect, but as long as I'm here, I'll fight whoever dares to bully my Night Moon and humiliate my Night Moon. Night Sorrow declared. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, the people of Night Moon became excited again. The people of Night Moon didn't lack courage. Now that there was a young master with courage, how could they not be excited? After paying his respects, Night Sorrow was stopped by Gu Jun. He hoped that Night Sorrow would take a walk around Wuyo City. Night Sorrow greeted Yi Lingxie and brought the 3 girls to Wuyo City. After meeting some people from the City Lord's mansion of Wuyo City, Night Sorrow took the 3 girls to walk around the city of Wuyo. Wuyo City. The name is beautiful and so is the city. Before the war, Uncle and Auntie must have lived a happy life here. Aoi said emotionally. This place will be even more beautiful in the future. If you like, we can build a mansion here. Night Sorrow said. We can come if we want. It's convenient to have a teleportation portal. How can we manage so many mansions? Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Then we'll do as you say. Night Sorrow said. After that, the few of them walked around Wuxia City. Seeing that the girls were tired, Night Sorrow called for them to ride their mounts back to the teleportation portal. After greeting Gu Jun, they teleported to Night Moon City and returned to the city in the sky. After returning to the mansion, the few of them sat down and chatted. Although Night Moon is still recovering, his spirit is very good. The heart of glory is in everyone's heart. This is indestructible. As long as he doesn't die, his faith will be there. It won't be a problem for him to rise again. Always said. I understand. In that case, all of you can cultivate however you want. I'll try to integrate the power of Desolates into the Myriad Daoist Tome later. Also, I'll go to Night Moon Sea with 6th Uncle to cultivate the spatial crack. After I'm done with this, I'll accompany all of you. 9th Senior Sister, don't be angry. Night Sorrow said. 13 9th Senior Sister has a straightforward temper. She might be a little arrogant. However, I'm not blaming you. I just feel sorry for you. Don't be angry. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Yang Lei's eyes became a little moist. This was because she knew that her attitude had affected Night Sorrow. However, Night Sorrow was still willing to accommodate her and not make her unhappy. I know that 9th Senior Sister, 6th Senior Sister, Chiyu, all of you are doing this for my sake. I'm not angry. There's only warmth in my heart. Night Sorrow stood up and hugged Yang Lei. We're all a family. No one will be angry at anyone. Sit down and drink some tea. Night Sorrow, just take care of yourself in the future. Sikong Chiyu stood up and poured tea for everyone. I know. Currently, the problem with the power of Desolates needs to be solved. The other thing is to cultivate the spatial crack. In the future, I won't have anything to do. I'll accompany all of you every day. Refining pills and roasting fish by the lake will be easy. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to the secret cultivation room to study the power of Desolates. 6th Senior Sister, did I bring a lot of pressure to 13? Yang Lei looked at Aoi and asked. That's not it. 13 is working very hard. We just need to give him some pointers and subconsciously influence him a little. For example, we can take him to the streets or take him out to play. That way our goal will be achieved. After all, 13 cares about us, so he won't refuse our suggestion. Qing Ji expressed her opinion. 6th Senior Sister is still the most experienced. I have to learn from her in the future. Yang Lei exhaled and said. Night Sorrow entered the secret cultivation room. He took out the Spirit Stone of Life and sat on it. After placing the 2 spears on his legs, he began to cultivate. Night Sorrow first separated a strand of power of Desolates into the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's energy. Then he slowly dispersed it. Following that, he quickly circulated the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's energy. After that, he began to absorb the energy of heaven and earth to cultivate naturally. He carefully observed whether the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's energy was still increasing. After observing for a while, Night Sorrow didn't feel much. He directly drank 2 drops of Spirit of Life liquid to cultivate. As he cultivated the Myriad Dao Treasured Book, Night Sorrow felt that the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's energy was still increasing. Feeling that it wasn't affected, Night Sorrow continued to disperse the power of Desolates into the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's energy. As he poured the power of Desolates into the Myriad Dao Treasured Book, Night Sorrow tried his best to raise the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's cultivation level. At the same time, he observed the changes in the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's energy. Once something happened, he would stop. Time slipped away bit by bit. The power of Desolates in Night Sorrow's arms decreased as it merged into the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's energy. The Myriad Dao Treasured Book's energy was still increasing. It didn't fall into a deadlock because of the change in the power of Desolate's attribute. Such a situation made Night Sorrow feel more at ease. To be honest, he was a little afraid. Whether it was the Myriad Dao Treasured Book or the power of Desolates, they were both his trump cards. They were his foundation. If anything happened to either of them, it would have a huge impact on him. It could even affect his future cultivation. After a night, Night Sorrow's power of Desolates had completely merged with the Myriad Dao Treasured Book. This caused the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's cultivation level to rise to the late stage of level 8 Dao Querying Realm. What made Night Sorrow the happiest was that the Myriad Dao Treasured Book's cultivation level was still increasing with the help of the Spirit of Life liquid. After sensing his body, Night Sorrow stopped cultivating. After calming himself down, he left the secret cultivation room. Chapter 695. Genius 1 second remember love /go/little? Shoan.net provides you with wonderful novels to read. Without caring about anything else, Knight Sorrow circulated the power of the myriad Dao tome and struck an ancient tree in the mansion with his palm. Genuine first release K square root as Knight Sorrow struck with his palm, the image of time flowing appeared on his palm. Following that, the ancient tree withered, aged and died. Good. Knight Sorrow roared. What are you doing? Sikong Chuyu was shocked by Knight Sorrow's roar. Success. The fusion is a success. Although the power of Desolate's attribute power has decreased compared to before, the attributes are still there. Now, as long as I have energy in my body, my attacks will contain the power of Desolate's attribute attack. Knight Sorrow said excitedly. That's great. It can be considered as solving one of your problems. Aoi walked over and said with a smile. Sixth senior sister's suggestion is still the best. Knight Sorrow hugged Aoi and kissed her on the cheek. After the kiss, Knight Sorrow was stunned for a moment. Aoi's face was also red. She did not expect such a situation. Sixth senior sister, I was a little excited. That was abrupt. Knight Sorrow said embarrassedly. What are you trying to explain? Kissing your fiancé is a normal thing to do. Yang Lei said with a smile. I'm so happy. Sixth senior sister's suggestion helped me solve a big problem. In the future, I won't have to be distracted by two types of energy. The cultivation of the myriad Dao tome will not be delayed. In the future, when I have desolate stones, I can use them to improve the quality of the power of desolates in the myriad Dao tome. Knight Sorrow said. Everyone was happy that Knight Sorrow's problem was solved. They ate breakfast happily. However, Aoi blushed every time she saw Knight Sorrow. After breakfast, the three girls went to the martial arts practice field. They had already become used to following the team to cultivate. Yishang also followed them to the martial arts practice field. After sending the three women to the martial arts practice field, Yishang waved at the three women and went to the lake to cultivate. Knight Sorrow did not want to be special. He was afraid that his cultivation state would affect the others. After all, the gap was too big. It would be easy to attack the others' confidence. When Yishan cultivated his spear art and movement technique as well as his actual combat ability, he used the reincarnation spear. This way he could cultivate the strongest destructive power. While cultivating his senses, Knight Sorrow held the Space Splitter spear and cultivated the compatibility between him and the Space Splitter spear. This way his doppelganger would be able to use it in the future. In the evening, Yishang didn't wait for the girls to find him. Instead, he went to the martial arts practice field and waited for the three girls to finish their cultivation so that they could go home together. Delivery in the morning and pick at night. Captain, your fiancé is simply a model. I'm so envious. Ling Long said with a smile. You can do it in the future too. Yishang, who had brought the three girls away, waved his hand and said without turning back. Ling Long, did you notice? Captain's mood is very high. It's rare to see him like this. Yun Huang said with his arms crossed. It should be because Captain has made new achievements in some aspect or solved some problems. It's rare to see him in this state. Ling Long nodded and agreed with Yun Huang's point of view. Every day was like this. Knight Sorrow would send the three girls to the martial arts practice field and pick them up at night. Knight Sorrow, aren't you going to cultivate the spatial rend? You should go find sixth uncle. When you're done you can come and accompany us. That way we can enjoy your transportation with a clear conscience. Sikong Chuyu said while eating dinner. Yes. Although we enjoy this kind of life, we can't delay your matters. Yang Lei said. Knight Sorrow nodded. I've almost mastered the spatial rend. It won't take long to learn from sixth uncle. Then go tomorrow. Come back early when you're done cultivating. I haven't cooked in a long time. I'll cook when you come back, Yang Lei said. After resting for a night, Knight Sorrow sent the three girls to the martial arts practice field. Then he left Sky City and went to Yi Lingxia's mansion on the night moon. You're here. Let's have a drink first. Then we'll go to the Night Moon Sea. Yi Lingxia had just returned from patrolling the city. Seeing the Night Moon City recover quickly, he was very happy. After drinking a jar of wine, Yi Lingxia brought Night Sorrow to the Night Moon Sea. Night Sorrow, we Night Clan members cultivate the spatial rend here. In a moment, sixth uncle will demonstrate it. You can watch and then sixth uncle will explain it to you. Yi Lingxia said. Seeing Night Sorrow nod, Yi Lingxia activated his bloodline talent. The spatial rend energy rose behind him and slashed towards the Night Moon Sea. As the spatial rend energy moved forward, the spatial turbulence was cut open. Then Yi Lingxia stretched out his arm and controlled the spatial turbulence to not close. After cutting open the space, Use the sovereign's unity of heaven and man to prevent the spatial turbulence from closing. Then use your bloodline talent to protect yourself. You can enter. After explaining, Yi Lingxie pulled Night Sorrow and used his bloodline talent to envelop the two of them and entered the Night Moon Sea. Then Yi Lingxie controlled his body to move through the spatial turbulence. The energy of other attributes will be consumed very quickly here. However, our Night Clan member's bloodline talent is of the spatial attribute, so the consumption is very small. If we encounter spatial turbulence that we can't avoid, then we'll continue to slash. While explaining to Night Sorrow, Yi Lingxie used the spatial ren to move forward. After a while, Yi Lingxie brought Night Sorrow out of the Night Moon Sea and returned to the Night Moon Sea. Then sixth uncle, let me try. Night Sorrow said. Take it easy. In the history of our Night Clan, the weakest who can use the spatial ren to move through the spatial turbulence is a mid-level sovereign. Yi Lingxie said to Night Sorrow. However, he wasn't worried because with him by his side, there wouldn't be any danger. Nodding at Yi Lingxie, Night Sorrow used the spatial rend against the Night Moon Sea. Then he used his sovereign realm strength to control the spatial turbulence so that it wouldn't close. After maintaining his bloodline talent to protect himself, Night Sorrow charged into the spatial turbulence. Yi Lingxie was worried about Night Sorrow's safety, so he followed closely behind. Night Sorrow's protective energy transformed into the polar moon wheel and cut through the spatial turbulence. Only when he encountered something he couldn't avoid would he use the spatial rend. After drifting through the spatial turbulence for a while, Night Sorrow and Yi Lingxie left the Night Moon Sea and returned to the Night Moon Sky. Not bad, this is talent. What you lack is the cultivation of your bloodline talent. As the quality and quantity of your bloodline talent increases, the spatial rend won't be a problem for you at all. However, don't tear through space and enter directly for the time being. It's still dangerous. After all, your cultivation is still a bit low. Yi Lingxie said excitedly. He was really happy. He only gave some pointers to Night Sorrow and there wouldn't be any problems. Is there a big difference between tearing through space and tearing through spatial turbulence? Night Sorrow asked. Chapter 696. Genius 1 second. Remember love goes/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. I understand. It's fine as long as the direction is right. I'll slowly cultivate, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Sixth uncle doesn't need to worry about you. Also, if you have any problems you can tell me. You're already the young master of Tianji Tower. If the elders of Tianji Tower hadn't told me about such a glorious thing, I wouldn't have known. Yi Lingxie thought of another topic. I didn't really want to do it. After all, it's inevitable that Night Moon will fight with the other dynasties. But Master Lin Ke and Grand Elder didn't think it was a big deal, so I didn't refuse. After all, it would hurt my reputation. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and gave it to Yi Lingxie. He also opened one for himself. Just let nature take its course. It's nothing much. However, to be able to become the young master, this is your ability. You should know that the family has not helped you at all. They have always been a burden to you, said Yi Lingxie. Sixth uncle, don't say that. When I first came to Night Moon City and met the coachman uncle, I felt that such a family is worth fighting for. Even if I die in battle, I won't have the slightest bit of resentment, Night Sorrow said. Then sixth uncle won't say anything. Also, I've reported to the family that you've become a venerable. As for what your title will be, I don't know, Yi Lingxie said. Don't worry, I don't care about that. Also, Elder Ling Lan and Elder Ling Yuan will have to follow the rules of the clan when they break through to the Exalt realm. We'll also have to apply for their titles, said Yi Shang. He didn't want anything that would disappoint them. Yi Lingxie told Night Sorrow that he had already reported everything to the family. He didn't know when the family's arrangements would be made. In addition, the family had also given instructions about the situation in Wuxia City. Everything should be done according to Night Sorrow's wishes. However, Night Sorrow shook his head. No matter what, those people are my seniors. I can't casually criticize them. It's better to wait for the family to come back first. Then we'll do as you say. If we don't deal with them, we'll be letting them off easy. You want to stay out of this? You really don't have Night Moon's character. At the mention of Wuxia City, Yi Lingxie's heart was filled with anger. He was even a little afraid. He was afraid that the actions of the people of Wuxia City had chilled Night Sorrow's heart. If Night Sorrow really didn't care, then Night Moon wouldn't be in this situation now. Original K version first. Release / after that, the two of them arrived at the central area of the Night Moon Sky. Now the hall behind the monument had been built. Currently, It was the main hall of the Night Moon Dynasty. There were still people handling things inside. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.aichuxs. Tom Night Sorrow and Yi Ling Xie sat on the steps in front of the hall and drank wine. Yi Ling Xie told Night Sorrow about Night Moon's past. They are very arrogant now, but in the past, no matter which dynasty they were from, when they came to our Night Moon Dynasty's territory, they had to be obedient. They had to think twice before looking up at the sky because that is the sky of our Night Moon, Yi Ling Xie said very heroically. It will be like this in the future. If anyone comes to our territory to look up at the sky, we'll beat them until they lower their heads, Night Sorrow said. This temper of yours, ha. Sixth uncle likes it. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.aichuxs.com, Yi Ling Xie said with a smile. As long as you're alive, you can't lack strength of character and pride, Yi Shang said. This is the main reason why Emperor Xin Xian's bloodline can control the family. It is because of this dominance. Emperor Xin Xian is like this. Brother Wang Linghuan is also like this. Nephew Wu Yu looks gentle and quiet, but when he explodes he is very terrifying, Yi Ling Xie said. I think it won't be long before we can see them again. Night Sorrow was still thinking about his parents. Don't worry, they are all well. Your parents are Night Moon's outstanding talents. They are also the pride of Night Moon. It won't be long before we can see them again, Yi Ling Xie said. Yi Ling Xie was also a good drinker. He and Night Sorrow were both in a good mood, so they started drinking. They drank until the afternoon when the two of them were drunk. There was a row of wine jars on the steps. When Night Sorrow woke up, it was already morning. He and Yi Ling Xie had already been carried back to the mansion. The two of them each had a recliner and slept very comfortably. The wine is good. Although I drank a lot, I feel refreshed when I wake up. Yi Ling Xie stretched lazily. Ah. Sixth uncle, whenever you come to Sky City, there will always be good wine to serve you, Night Sorrow said. Alright, let's go back. Otherwise your 3 daughters-in-law will be worried. Yi Ling Xie waved at Night Sorrow and began to chase him away. Night Sorrow bowed to Yi Ling Xie and left behind a jar of wine. Then he left Yi Ling Xie's mansion and took the transportation array back to Sky City. After arriving at the martial arts arena, Night Sorrow waved at Sikong Chuyu. Come, make a pot of tea. Sikong Chuyu came to Night Sorrow's side and sniffled. What happened to you? He drank too much. He slept for half a day and one night with Sixth uncle. He drank so much that he didn't know anything. He was probably carried back to the mansion. Yi Shang said with a hiccup. You guys are really gods. How did your cultivation of the spatial crack go? Yang Lei came over and patted Night Sorrow's back. I succeeded. That's why Sixth uncle is so happy and drank wine. You guys go cultivate. I'll drink some tea to sober up. Night Sorrow smiled. Watching everyone cultivate, Night Sorrow drank tea to sober up. As his body circulated his true qi and the myriad Dao's treasured tome, and his soul power circulated, the effects of the alcohol naturally passed. At night, Night Sorrow brought the 3 women back to the mansion. You're back. Night Sorrow saw Wu Lingfei inside the mansion. Aunt Fei, you came out of seclusion? Night Sorrow rubbed his forehead and asked. I've been out for a few days. I went back to the Eastern Profound Domain to have a look. Then I went to the Tianji Tower and got some news, Wu Lingfei said. What news? Does it have anything to do with us? Night Sorrow asked. It does, but it depends on your decision. To be precise, one of the 3 imperial cities, Haotian City, has appeared. However, it's still in the spatial turbulence and hasn't completely appeared yet, Wu Lingfei said. Haotian City, this name sounds very domineering, Night Sorrow said. The most important thing is that there is a heaven-sealing palace in Haotian City, which can give titles. As long as a cultivator enters the venerable realm, they can enter the heaven-sealing palace. If they are recognized by the heaven-sealing palace, they will be titled venerables or saints, Wu Lingfei said. Is this important? Aunt Fei, don't you have the title of Golden Phoenix? Senior Sierra is the everlasting saint, Night Sorrow said. It's not like that. The titles that we cultivators call each other are just code names for convenience. However, the titles given by the heaven-sealing palace are recognized by the heavenly way and have luck. The meaning is completely different. They are 2 different things. The difference is like heaven and earth, Wu Lingfei said. It seems that Aunt Fei has to go once. Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei and said. Chapter 697. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. I'll go, but I still have to figure out the situation. The others are all venerables and saints. I'm only a first-level venerable, so I might be at a disadvantage, said Night Sorrow. If you want to go, then go with Auntie Faye. I think there are many people from our celestial extreme tower who want to go as well. The appearance of Haotian City is a huge blow to the Nine Regions world, Wu Lingfei said. When do we leave? Asked Night Sorrow. There's no hurry. Haotian City is still at the border of the Desolate Sea and the Domain Sea. It will take some time for it to appear, said Wu Lingfei. What's going on? The disappeared Imperial City has reappeared. Night Sorrow still couldn't understand. This is a chaotic world, a great chaotic world. You still don't know that in addition to the Venerable of Time from Jianghu's family, the Venerable of the Dead has appeared in the Western Nether Territory, and the Venerable of Wind and Fire has appeared in the Southernly Territory. Therefore, the competition among the younger generation is very fierce. Everyone wants to be the young king of this era, said Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that he was very outstanding, but the Nine Regions world was so big and there were many geniuses. He was not the only one. Also, you should know a person called Su Mu, right? Asked Wu Lingfei, looking at Night Sorrow. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, yes, I know him. He was a former disciple of the Medicine Valley, but I don't know where he went. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said. He had a deep impression of Su Mu because Su Mu was very strong at that time. He had competed with him for the title of the new king of the Medicine Valley. He had killed Su Wang, but he really didn't know anything about Su Mu. That guy is also very powerful now. He also got a heaven-defying opportunity and became a disciple of a saint. He threatened to kill you, said Wu Lingfei. Kill me? Ah, let him come. I was able to beat him up once, so I can beat him up twice. But if he provokes me again, it won't be as simple as just beating him up, Night Sorrow said with a laugh. He's currently under the Silver Dusk Sage's tutelage. It should be the remnants of the Golden Flame sect who brought him to the Qingtian region. Perhaps he was discovered by the Silver Dusk Sage by chance and became the Silver Dusk Sage's disciple. In addition, he has comprehended the ultimate earth attribute, the strength attribute. We can't underestimate him. Wu Lingfei slowly explained Su Mu's situation to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. In his heart, he had never underestimated any opponent. Why didn't 13 just crush him to death back then? Aunt Fei, what is that fellow's cultivation? Yang Lei asked. Late void inquiry stage. His innate talent is astonishing. In addition to the opportunity and the nurturing of the Silver Dusk Sage, his growth is naturally fast. However, the Venerable Realm is a huge threshold. Night Sorrow has already crossed it. He still has to slowly catch up. You don't have to pay too much attention to him. Wu Lingfei said. Su Mu's matter was discovered by the Tianji Tower. Because Su Mu was too outstanding, he caught the attention of the Tianji Tower. However, after some investigation, they gave up on recruiting him. The Silver Dusk Sage treated the Tianji Tower as an opponent. Therefore, it was impossible for the Tianji Tower to recruit her disciple. Besides, Su Mu's temperament was also a problem. After telling Night Sorrow about Su Mu, Wu Lingfei told him about the situation in Haotian City, mainly about the heaven-conferring Great Hall. The three imperial cities, Haotian City, Sudao City and the Central State City, were the three most prosperous cities before the ancient Conferred Gods War. After the Conferred Gods War, Haotian City and Sudao City disappeared. No one knew the whereabouts of the two imperial cities. The only imperial city left, the Central State City, was also left in ruins. Your Time and Space Pagoda seems to have been found in the ruins of the Central State City by the former city lord of the Qingtian region. Elder Xie said that it seemed to be damaged at that time. Its current state should be self-evolving. Wu Lingfei said. I see. Haotian City sounds more domineering than the Central State City. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Among the three imperial cities, Haotian City is ranked first. The heaven-conferring Great Hall is also located on the Haotian Mountain of Haotian City. According to the ancient records, the heaven-conferring Great Hall was a mystery during the ancient times. No one knows its origin. They only know that after entering the palace, different tests will be set according to the level of the challenger. Those who successfully pass the tests will be given a title. This is also the reason why all the cultivators of the 9 regions want to have a title. 3 imperial cities? I don't know how prosperous the 9 regions were back then, but no matter how glorious they were, they couldn't withstand the erosion of time. Night Sorrow said with some emotion. Yes, the 3 imperial city lords were all Saint Kings. Hao Tian sank king, Su Dao sank king and Central State sank king. However, after the conferred gods' war there was no news of them. Wu Lingfei said. As for the heaven-conferring Great Hall, Wu Lingfei's knowledge was limited. After all, it was too ancient and was a secret to the people of today. Okay, you continue to cultivate. Aunt Fei will inform you if there is news. You don't need to rush to improve your strength. Improving your combat power is very important. Challenging the heaven-conferring Great Hall depends on your actual combat power. Wu Lingfei said. Wu Lingfei left and Night Sorrow fell into deep thought. I say, what kind of world is this? Why can't people be at peace? Sikong Chiyu poured a cup of water for Night Sorrow and said, we're caught up in a chaotic world. There's nothing we can do about it. Let nature take its course. We'll deal with whatever comes our way. Night Sorrow sighed and said, let's just ignore these things and cultivate in Sky City. What nonsense is this? Yang Lei said, if it's ordinary then we can't ignore it. However, we can't ignore this. Titles are related to the fight for fate. I've read in the ancient records that fate is very important. It can directly affect one's achievements. Without fate, you'll lose the favor of the heavens. Nothing you do will go smoothly. 13's cultivation is smooth and he's obtained a lot of resources. He's also helped the Medicine Valley rise and helped Night Moon stabilize the situation. This is all related to 13's fate, always said. Yes. 9th senior sister Chiyu, I have to go. Many things will change when the title Great Hall appears. Getting a title is one of them. Haoyan City has disappeared for countless years. This is the first time it appears. It's hard to say what will happen. If there's an opportunity, we'll have to fight for it. Don't the Western Nether region and the Southernly region both have powerful young warriors? Let's try and see who's stronger. As for that Sumu, I think he's a hidden danger, Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu nodded and stopped talking. They also knew that this matter was very important. They only said those words because they were worried about Night Sorrow. 13 That Sumu is cruel and merciless. He's not a kind person. He's hostile to you. If you have the chance, kill him, Yang Lei said after thinking for a moment. Chapter 698. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. You don't have to worry about me. So what if I go? I'm going to the Heaven Sealing Palace to get recognition. There won't be any danger. Besides, can it be more dangerous than the Supreme River Space? There are so many advanced venerable nether beasts in the Supreme River Space. They can't do anything to me. Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13 We know your strength very well. We can't help but worry. Yang Lei sat beside Night Sorrow and said, I know. We don't even know when we'll leave. There's no rush. I'll strengthen my combat skills and abilities in the next few days. I don't believe there's any venerable level test that I can't take. Night Sorrow was very confident in himself. Then Night Sorrow changed to a more relaxed topic and chatted with everyone. After dinner, Night Sorrow didn't cultivate. Instead, he sat quietly with the 3 girls at the top of the mansion and watched the night sky as they chatted. They chatted until late at night before they went to rest. Yishang also had a comfortable sleep. After getting up, Night Sorrow held the Space Splitter Spear and cultivated the feeling of becoming one with the spear. Night Sorrow was building a foundation for his clone. As long as his original body and the Space Splitter Spear were high enough, his clone would naturally be able to use it. After the clone reached completion, it would have all the combat skills and abilities of the original body. It could even be said that its comprehension of the realm was the same. The energy it absorbed from the world was the same as the original body. However, Wu Lingfei told Yishan that the recovery of the avatar wasn't something that could be done in a short period of time. She had spent a lot of time on it. Currently, Yishan had taken this step ahead of time, but it was hard to say when he would succeed. After cultivating the spear art for a while and getting a feel for it, Yishang sent the 3 girls to the martial arts practice field to cultivate after eating breakfast. After the girls joined the team to cultivate, Night Sorrow waved at Yun Huang. Captain, I don't dare to help you level up that sky-piercing spear of yours right now. Let me familiarize myself with the refining techniques. Yun Huang said somewhat embarrassedly. That's not why I called you. It's something else. I'll tell you about it and you can decide for yourself. Night Sorrow then told him about what had happened in Haoyan City. Go. How can I not go? The Demon Prince, have to get a title, right? Otherwise, when we go out in the future and people ask about it, I'll be so embarrassed. Yun Huang patted his shoulder and said, What are you two talking about? Is there some shady business going on? Exquisite also walked over. You're about to enter the venerable realm, so you should know about this. Night Sorrow then told Exquisite about what had happened in Clear Sky City. F***CK. Such a big deal. Then I'll hurry up and break through to the venerable realm as soon as possible. Captain, you're so mean. If I didn't ask about it, you wouldn't have told me. Exquisite glared at Night Sorrow with dissatisfaction. The main reason is that I don't want to give you pressure. I plan to tell you when you enter the venerable realm. Clear Sky City hasn't appeared yet. Maybe you'll advance to the venerable realm before it appears. I'll tell you when I get there. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Okay. I believe that. I really have to work hard. I plan to go back to my family and enter the ancestral land of my family. Before Clear Sky City appears, I must enter the venerable realm. Exquisite looked at Night Sorrow and said, Okay, then come back early. Yun Huang, aren't you going back to your family? Night Sorrow asked. I'll go back and see if there's any useful news from my family. This way we won't be in the dark when we go there. Yun Huang said. Then Yun Huang and Exquisite both left. Yun Huang was born in a dynasty that had been passed down for countless years, so his starting point was high. Similarly, Exquisite was also born in a big family. However, Night Sorrow didn't ask about it. He didn't want to intrude on their privacy. In addition, Night Sorrow also recognized their strength. In front of Night Sorrow, the two of them were relatively weak. However, when facing other cultivators, they could absolutely crush those of the same level and kill those of a higher level. Otherwise, the two of them wouldn't have been valued by Tianji Tower. Lei Bao, Hou Jian, Lei Zheng and Nan Liyue all had the strength to fight those of a higher level. However, they had only reached 1-star and 2-star in the celestial level assessment. Yun Huang and Exquisite were stronger than them, which meant that they were much stronger than ordinary cultivators. As for the new geniuses, regardless of whether they were outstanding or not because of their background, they weren't recruited by the celestial terminus tower. Seeing that Yun Huang and Exquisite had left, Night Sorrow also went to the lake and began to cultivate. Night Sorrow's main direction of cultivation was to integrate spear techniques and body movements into battle to increase his combat strength. Occasionally, Night Sorrow would also cultivate the Destruction Fist, the Desolation Hand and the Mysterious Jade Hand. In addition to the Mysterious Jade Hand, Night Sorrow's Destruction Fist and the Desolation Hand were invaded by the power of time. Because Night Sorrow's body was strong, his fist and claw techniques were extremely sharp. With the help of the power of Desolation, his attack power was also extremely explosive. Every evening, Night Sorrow would go to the martial arts arena to wait for the three girls. After watching everyone cultivate that day, Night Sorrow clapped his hands. Xueling Hou Jian, there's nothing to say about everyone's combat strength. The joint attack of the array is also very smooth. Next, shorten the actual combat training time and increase the time to cultivate the foundation. Understood. Hou Jian and Xueling both nodded. Also, there's the problem of resources. Liyue will give the brothers whatever resources they need. We can't delay the brothers' cultivation progress because of the lack of resources. Night Sorrow looked at Nan Liyue and said, Captain, don't worry about that. Nan Liyue said, That's good. If you have nothing to do, you can also take them out to fight with demon beasts, accept Tianji Tower's missions and so on. However, safety is the most important thing. Liyue, distribute these storage rings. Night Sorrow threw a few more storage rings to Nan Liyue. He had previously fought alone and killed a few city lords, so he had obtained some more storage rings. Night Sorrow brought the girls back to his residence. When it was time for dinner, Hou Jian, Lei Bao, Lei Zheng, Nan Liyue, Hou Qingjie and Qingjin arrived. Are you guys here to eat? Night Sorrow greeted them with a smile. It's just that we haven't drunk together for a long time. I miss the days when we fought together. The gap between us is getting bigger and bigger. Sigh. Lei Bao said with a hint of disappointment in his voice. As first, Lei Bao, you have to remember that we are brothers. Brothers for life. You don't have to think about anything else. The same goes for you guys. When you have nothing to do, you can come and drink with me. Don't think about nonsense all day. Night Sorrow looked at them and said, You have to know that the God-slaying team is a team. Night Sorrow can't ask you to drink alone, but you can come over. Yang Lei said. That's true. We didn't think it through. Lei Bao said as he patted his head. But we still have to work hard when we need to, Yi Shan said with a smile. Chapter 699. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We will provide you with interesting novels to read. After drinking some wine, Lei Bao and the others returned to the god-slaying team's camp. Love Go Little Say, Chu, they are all very outstanding. However, when they meet 13 Yun Huang and Ling Long, they seem to be lacking. Ordinary cultivators are far from them, always said. That's why being in the same generation as 13 is a tragedy for all geniuses. Don't look at the undead Venerable in the West Nether region, Venerable Feng Hua in the Southly region, and that bird Su Mu. They are all tragedies, Young Lei said. Ninth junior sister is now full of admiration for 13. It's almost to the point of blindness, always said with a smile. It's not blindness. It's trust because our 13 has the ability to do so, Yang Lei said with a smile. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. Now that his foundation had stabilized, Night Sorrow wanted to cultivate fully. He was looking forward to the effect of cultivating the myriad Dao Tome to the spirit refinement realm. That was equivalent to the venerable realm. Currently, no one in the 9 regions world could cultivate the body to the venerable realm. On the other hand, Night Sorrow was also working hard to refine the Void Fate Pearl. This was his greatest secret and also his most powerful treasure. Once he refined it, Night Sorrow would be able to control the Void Fate Pearl. The additional power and benefits of being the master of a space were simply immeasurable. Love Go Little Say, Chuel cultivating, Night Sorrow still placed the 2 spears on his lap and used his leaked energy to nourish them and cultivate their compatibility with each other. Night Sorrow held the black tortoise spirit crystal in his hand to assist in cultivating the myriad Dao Tome. The Spacetime Pagoda was fully open to assist in other aspects of cultivation. After cultivating until dawn, Night Sorrow got up and washed up. Then he began to cultivate his spear art and stretched his body. After eating breakfast, Yishang brought the girls to the lakeside to cultivate. After listening to Night Sorrow's words yesterday, the focus of everyone's training was on the basics. Because of their combat ability, everyone's training was more or less the same. Generally speaking, one had to find a place with dense spirit chi to cultivate. However, Night Sorrow and the others didn't need to do so because they had enough resources. As long as they could cultivate in a pleasant place, that was enough. Night Sorrow was working hard to raise the cultivation level of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome. He was heading towards the 9th level of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome. Back when Night Sorrow had fused the power of Desolates into the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome, his Myriad Dao Treasured Tome's cultivation had reached the late stage of level 8 Dao Querying Realm. After a few days of cultivation, he had already reached the peak of level 8 Dao Querying Realm. While he was meditating, Night Sorrow felt that the opportunity for a breakthrough had arrived, so he immediately began to break through. Aoi and the other 2 girls cultivated until evening. When they were about to go back, they saw that Night Sorrow didn't wake up and noticed Night Sorrow's condition. This guy can break through at any time, Yang Lei said with some emotion. After that, the girls went inside the wooden boat. They drank tea and chatted while guarding Night Sorrow. When dawn arrived, Night Sorrow had also completed his breakthrough and raised the cultivation level of the Myriad Dao Treasured Tome to the 9th level of the Dao Querying Realm. When Night Sorrow got up to stretch his body, Tianyu stopped moving again. You guys have broken through one after another. All of you are very strong, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow was very happy. Tianyu had reached the peak of the Void Inquiry stage. His strength would also improve. Besides, he was not far away from the Venerable Realm. While cultivating his spear technique, his cultivation base and his compatibility with the space-splitting spear, Night Sorrow was guarding Tianyu. In the afternoon, Tianyu successfully broke through. After displaying his speed on the huge lake, Tianyu returned to Night Sorrow's side and acted intimately with Night Sorrow. After that, he accompanied Tianyu for a while to let Tianyu stabilize his cultivation base. Night Sorrow and the girls continued to cultivate. Night Sorrow also needed to adapt to the increase in his combat power brought about by the increase in his body's toughness and strength. However, in the evening, Night Sorrow still followed the girls back to the mansion. He wanted to spend more time with them now because he was going to leave again after some time. The days were quiet. Other than cultivating his foundation, Night Sorrow also practiced his spear technique. In addition, Night Sorrow's soul power was also improving rapidly. The crescent moon blade of the soul extinguishing slash was also becoming more and more solid. When he finished cultivating his spear technique again, Yun Huang returned. However, he did not manage to find any information about Clear Sky City and the Heaven-Conferring Palace. There were almost no records about the ancient times. Don't worry, let nature take its course, Night Sorrow said. He did not expect Yun Huang to bring back any information. After all, it was very difficult to find clues and records about the ancient times. Ling Long didn't come back? Yun Huang asked. No, I don't know when she will come back. I don't know about Ling Long's matters. Night Sorrow shook his head. Then we will wait. Also, your sky-splitting spear has finished its upgrade. It is now a basic spirit artifact. Yun Huang took out Night Sorrow's sky-splitting spear and handed it to Night Sorrow. Very good, its strength is not bad. Night Sorrow said with satisfaction after receiving the sky-splitting spear and waving it twice. I was worried that my skills were not good enough and that I would break it, so I asked the seniors of my family for help. How embarrassing. Yun Huang said embarrassedly. Night Sorrow waved the sky-splitting spear again and said, This is nothing, but I am still very grateful to you, brother. You can rest assured when using it in the future. Otherwise, if it is not strong enough, I will always be worried that it will break. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Yun Huang left Night Sorrow a few jars of Yun Dynasty's good wine before returning to the pavilion where the god-slaying team rested. Ling Long only returned after more than 20 days. However, she was already a venerable realm cultivator. You're good. You went back once and took the most important step. Night Sorrow said in shock. He felt that Ling Long was originally a little weaker and needed some time to become a venerable. However, Ling Long had already cultivated to the venerable realm. I am still a little weaker, but when I returned to my family's ancestral land, I used the ancestral land's formation and the family's secret method to forcefully raise my cultivation to the venerable realm. Ling Long said. Equals only C*1 ton original, others are all C*CN/pirated%. Let's go back. You and Yun Huang should spar a bit more. Train more in actual combat and stabilize your cultivation, Yi Shan said to Exquisite. After bidding farewell to Night Sorrow, Aoi, and the other girls, Ling Long left. Ling Long's family must be very powerful. They can actually help Ling Long directly raise her cultivation to the venerable realm. That's amazing, Yang Lei said. The Dark Mountain tribe is an ancient race. It is normal for them to have some strange secret methods, Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow nodded. The 9 regions world was vast and boundless. Some of the ancient races were very powerful and terrifying. That's good. When you go to Clear Sky City you will have companions. It will reduce some of the pressure, Always said. That's not a big deal. Challenging the Heaven Sealing Palace is a personal matter. We can't help each other, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow knew about the title. It depended on the individual's ability. They had to be recognized by the Heaven Sealing Palace. They could not fight in a team. That's true. It is the recognition of the heavenly Tao. You can't take any shortcuts. It is completely based on your strength, Always said. Chapter 700. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow cultivated diligently, as did Yun Huang and Ling Long. They fought fiercely every day to practice their combat skills. Night Sorrow wasn't in a hurry. He cultivated quietly while waiting for news from Wu Lingfei. After another half a month of quiet cultivation, Wu Lingfei came to the lakeside. Sikong Chuyu made tea, and Wu Lingfei told him about the current situation. Haotian City had completely floated up from the realm's sea, but no one could approach it, not even a saint. That was because most of the destructive energy in the spatial turbulence was of the highest attribute. Even a saint couldn't withstand it. Doesn't that mean Haotian City is of little value right now? Who can get close to the destructive energy? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Not exactly. As time passes the energy will weaken. You can still approach it, Wu Lingfei explained. I see. When do we set off? Night Sorrow asked. Anytime. Now all the forces are stationed on some islands in the periphery of the sea. Tianji Tower also occupies an island. It won't be inconvenient for us to go, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Then I can go anytime, Night Sorrow said with a nod. Aoi, Yang Lei and Chuyu, if you want to go you can go too. Take it as an experience, Wu Lingfei said with a smile when she saw that Aoi and the others couldn't bear to part with Night Sorrow. We can go too. That's great. Yang Lei said excitedly. Wu Lingfei nodded and said, the island Tianji Tower occupies is not small. There are demon beasts and materials on it. Your god-slaying squad can also go there to gain experience. After that, Night Sorrow went to gather the members of the god-slaying squad. Then they took the teleportation array to Haohai City in the Qingtian region. From now on, You guys won't be able to use your mounts because this Realm C will attack venerated Realm experts and Void Inquiry stage cultivators who are cultivating their Spirit C. Get on the flying ship. Wu Lingfei waved her hand and a flying ship that was 20 zhang asterisk, 3, 33 m per zhang, long appeared in front of everyone. Night Sorrow then led the group into the sky ship. Wu Lingfei installed the Spirit Stones and controlled the sky ship. At the same time, she taught the members of the God-slaying team how to operate the sky ship. This thing is a treasure. Ho Jian said with some emotion. It's not easy to make a flying ship. Normally, only the King City's City Lord Manor has one. Night Sorrow, refine this and you'll be able to control it. Wu Lingfei threw a crystal to Night Sorrow. Auntie Fei, is this appropriate? Night Sorrow asked. It's appropriate. Our Eastern Shen region still has 2 sky ships. It's enough. This sky ship doesn't belong to the Eastern Shen region. It's one of Auntie Fei's battle spoils. Auntie Fei is a saint now. She doesn't need it. Wu Lingfei shook her head at Night Sorrow. After listening to Wu Lingfei's words, Night Sorrow refined the crystal. Night Sorrow also gained control of the sky ship. After flying for a day in the direction that Wu Lingfei pointed out, the group arrived at an island. Then they landed. There were a few big tents on the island. After Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow to arrange for them to set up camp, she brought Night Sorrow, Yun Huang and Ling Long to the big tent in the middle. In the big tent in the middle, Night Sorrow and the others saw Xia Lanjun, Lin Yuandao, Guoxiao, Latrin Swan and Tai Shu Yen. It could be said that all the higher-ups of Tianji Tower were there. 3 venerables of the younger generation. This is very good. Xia Lanjun looked at Night Sorrow and the others with satisfaction. After greeting each other, Night Sorrow and the others went out of the tent. Wu Lingfei also followed them out. Do you see it? That's Haotian City. The surrounding islands are stationed with experts from various regions and forces. At present there are no experts below the Venerable Realm here. Our Eastern Shen region's people are also on the east side of this island. Long Xianxing is also here, but he doesn't like to meet people. You can go and meet him because he said so. Wu Lingfei said. Then, under the leadership of Wu Lingfei, Night Sorrow went to meet Long Xianxing. Very good. It hasn't been long since I last saw you. You have cultivated to this level. It's very rare. Long Xianxing looked at Night Sorrow and said, Senior, thank you for taking care of Night Sorrow that day. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said. He knew who Long Xianxing was. He was the Dragon Turtle King that he had met in the Eastern Ice Sea. At that time, he didn't make things difficult for him and even gave him a lot of Shen Turtle Crystals and Blood Spirit Turtle Crystals. Night Sorrow was very grateful. It's nothing. Your body is also close to the Venerable Realm. It's very amazing. You are also a person favored by the Heavenly Tao. If you work hard, you will definitely have extraordinary achievements. I have high hopes for you. Long Xianxing nodded at Night Sorrow. Then Long Xianxing asked Night Sorrow a few more questions. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow left Long Xuanxing's tent. Because Wu Lingfei and Long Xianxing still had things to talk about, Night Sorrow returned to the camp of the God-slaying team. Domain Lord Night Sorrow is extraordinary. If everything goes well, he will have extraordinary achievements in the future. You must pay more attention to him. Long Xianxing said to Wu Lingfei. His cultivation talent is very high. In addition, he is also very hard-working. It is very rare for him to cultivate to this level in a few years. Wu Lingfei said. He has the origin energy in his body. This is a fact. The void attribute is also a supreme attribute. If everything goes well, his achievements will be immeasurable. He will surpass you and me. Long Xianxing said. Senior, you know that he has the void attribute? Wu Lingfei was very surprised. Because if one didn't fight and didn't use their energy, it was very difficult to discover the attribute. Night Sorrow had hidden it very well. So far no one had discovered it. Yes, this is a special ability of mine. The supreme attribute has never appeared before. If he can enter the Great Title Hall, he will definitely get a title. At that time he will have the luck to support him. He will be even more amazing. Heroes emerge in troubled times. Long Xianxing said with a sigh. There are many young experts in the West Nether region, Southly region and Qingtian region. Even the time attribute venerables have appeared. Wu Lingfei was very worried that Ji Yuhao would be a threat to Night Sorrow. This is a chaotic world and heroes are born in chaotic times. However, not everyone can become the king of heroes. You don't have to worry about it. Just wait for the appearance of Clear Sky City. I hope that our Eastern Profound Domain will be able to obtain something. I also want to go in to look for something. Long Xianxing said. Senior, do you need my help to find something? Wu Lingfei asked. No need. If that thing is in Clear Sky City, I can naturally find it. If it is not, then no one can help. Long Xianxing said. Is it very important? Wu Lingfei asked. She wanted to help Long Xianxing because Long Xianxing was the mainstay of Eastern Profound region. Chapter 701. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. After that, Long Xianxing did not hide anything from Wu Lingfei. He had received instructions from the remnant soul of his ancestor. His ancestor had fallen in Clear Sky City, perishing together with his opponent. In Clear Sky City, his shell was the Xuanwu sacred armor. Wu Lingfei nodded. She understood that she could not help in such a matter. Domain Lord, the birth of Haotian City will be accompanied by a storm of blood. The Qianji Tower is upright and generous, but it is hard to say about the saints of other domains. So you must be careful. Some ordinary spiritual treasures are not a problem, but if a sacred treasure appears, it will be a life and death battle. Long Xianxing said to Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei understands. Thank you for your advice. Wu Lingfei said. Long Xianxing had watched her grow up in the East Snow Mountain. He was worthy of being called a senior. Pay attention to the Western Nether region. There were 3 experts on the continent. One was Yi Tian of the Night Moon Dynasty, and the other was the heavenly underworld saint of the Western Nether region. Under such circumstances, it is impossible for him not to come. He is an extremely selfish person. He can do anything. Long Xianxing said. Is he very strong? Wu Lingfei asked. Very strong. He was injured by me once in the past, so it is certain that he will be hostile to our Eastern Shen region. This is also a disaster caused by me. Long Xianxing said. I see. But it is nothing. Whoever dares to provoke our Eastern Shen region, we will fight to the end. Wu Lingfei said. Yishang returned to the camp and entered the tent that Ma Zhuang and the others had prepared for him. Then he brewed a pot of tea. However, he still couldn't calm down. Long Xianxing was a huge dragon turtle. This had a huge impact on him. Looking at Night Sorrow, who was in deep thought, Aoi and the others did not disturb him. After drinking a pot of tea, Night Sorrow's mood stabilized. According to Wu Lingfei, life could not be divided into human and demon beasts. It should be said that they were different races. Then Night Sorrow called Xueling and Ho Jian, and let them lead the god-slaying team freely. Then, Night Sorrow briefly explained the situation to the 3 girls. So that senior helped you before. How unexpected, Sikong Chuyu said in surprise. Yes, back then he didn't make things difficult for me and even gave me resources. It's clear that this senior is very open-minded, Night Sorrow said. 2 hours later, Wu Lingfei returned. Night Sorrow, let's go. Auntie Fei will take you to the beach. Night Sorrow nodded and followed Wu Lingfei to the beach. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs.com. This is the border between the Desolate Sea and the Realm Sea, so there are no attacks from the Realm Sea. Let's take a closer look. Wu Lingfei wrapped Night Sorrow in energy and rushed towards Clear Sky City, which could only be vaguely seen from the island. Did Clear Sky City rise from the sea? Night Sorrow asked curiously. Wu Lingfei nodded and said, yes, this may be fate. For example, the formation loosened or the seal was broken or it sank to the bottom of the sea. Because of some changes in the energy at the bottom of the sea, it led to the birth of Haotian City. They were still some distance away from Clear Sky City, but they couldn't get any closer because they were blocked by the black and red energy. Before they could get close to the black and red energy, Night Sorrow felt the horror of the energy. Ai Gong Xiao Sei Ku, this is a spatial turbulence that contains a very strong destructive energy. Saints can't use the power of rules because the destructive element in this spatial turbulence also has the power of rules. Saints can't resist it and can only wait for it to dissipate, Wu Lingfei said. It's really scary. If we go in, we will be destroyed, Night Sorrow said. Actually, this is a bit like a formation, but I don't understand it. But it doesn't matter. During this time, the energy surrounding Clear Sky City has weakened. It's not as strong as before, Wu Lingfei said. Then let's wait until the energy weakens. If there is an opportunity, there will still be one. It's useless to think about it now, Night Sorrow said. Your mentality is good, but it won't work here. It's mainly because of the Heaven Sealing Hall. Obtaining a title will give you luck. With luck, you can change some things and even rob others of their opportunities. It's always good to go in early, Wu Lingfei said. After listening to Wu Lingfei's words, Night Sorrow understood a little. That was to say, there was still a need to snatch and compete. The lords of the 3 imperial cities were all Saint Kings. What is a Saint King? They are the masters of the Saint Realm, the kings of the Saint Realm. It's easy to leave something behind in the cities they are in charge of. So, if you go in first, you have the advantage, Wu Lingfei said. What happened in the War of the Gods? The Saint Kings disappeared, 2 of the 3 imperial cities disappeared, and 1 was damaged. What kind of battle could be so fierce? Night Sorrow still didn't understand. There's no way to know. The people from back then are all dead, so they didn't leave behind any clues. This is the biggest secret from the ancient times until now. Without the investiture of the gods, the 9 regions world wouldn't have become the 9 regions 18 prefectures. As for snatching opportunities, you have to pay attention to it. Think about it, the pagoda of time and space was found in the destroyed Jianghu city. Clear Sky City is an unexplored imperial city. Who knows what kind of opportunities and dangers there are? Wu Lingfei explained the importance of the problem to Night Sorrow. After observing from the periphery, Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow back to the island and went to Night Sorrow's tent. We still have to find a way to enter Clear Sky City first. In addition, you have to be careful. This time is different from the time when we went to Taichuan. At that time, we were united against the outside world, so there was no civil war. Now we are all here to search for treasures. There are no restrictions on fighting, so a battle can happen at any time. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Wu Lingfei left. She explained everything clearly to Night Sorrow. The rest of the problem was left for Night Sorrow to think about by himself. Then Night Sorrow asked Yang Lei where Yun Huang and Ling Long had gone, because he hadn't seen them since he came back half a day ago. People from the Yun dynasty came, so Yun Huang went to the Yun dynasty to have a look. Ling Long also went to her family and will come back later, Sikong Chiyu said. Well, that's good. Their ancestors will also warn them. Night Sorrow nodded and said. No one knew when Supreme Sky City would officially come into being. Everyone was also waiting. Night Sorrow recalled that the Venerable One from the Night Moon dynasty did not come, which meant that they were one step behind the others. Thinking up to this point, Night Sorrow grew somewhat anxious. After all, there were many things involved. Opportunities, karmic luck and so on were things that Night Sorrow needed. Night Sorrow then went to Wu Lingfei's tent. You're here. Is something the matter? Wu Lingfei asked. This time, the saints and venerables from the various factions have all come, but the people from the Night Moon Empire didn't come. My 6th uncle must also need such an opportunity, said Night Sorrow. That's a problem. You don't have to worry about that. They already know about this and they're already here. It's just that they're rather secretive, so no one knows about it. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. Chapter 702. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/small? Show.net provides you with wonderful novels to read. They're here. I didn't know about that. Night Sorrow said with some surprise. This matter needs to be kept a secret. After all, the major dynasties don't attack the Night Moon dynasty. If they fight outside the Night Moon dynasty, that group of people will do anything. Their leader is also a shameless person, so Xie Changlao has other arrangements. Wu Lingfei explained to Night Sorrow. This arrangement is very good. This way there won't be any loopholes. Night Sorrow nodded and felt a lot more at ease. After chatting with Wu Lingfei for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his tent. What did you do in such a hurry? Seeing Night Sorrow return, Sikong Chiyu asked. Yishang smiled and told him about his worries as well as the news he had received. That's good. You really have a lot of things to worry about. Yang Lei nodded. Night Sorrow had nothing to do, so he settled down and cultivated. Haotian City was not open yet, so it was better to improve his cultivation. Aoi, Yang Lei and Sikong Chiyu followed the god-slaying team. They practiced combat on the island and collected some resources and materials. This island was very big and there were many monsters. Night Sorrow meditated and cultivated in the tent, while Tianyu lay outside. Night Sorrow cultivated his foundation at night. During the day he cultivated his movement skills and spear skills. In addition, he cultivated his compatibility with the Space Splitter Spear. Compatibility was a very important thing. With Night Sorrow's current cultivation, he could only wield a low-level spiritual artifact. Without compatibility, a high-level spiritual artifact would be no different from a normal weapon in his hand. It would just be slightly stronger. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation Fast 7. On March 4th, after cultivating for a few days, Night Sorrow thought that he should pay a visit to Long Xianxing. After all, Long Xianxing had helped him a lot. In addition, Long Xianxing was also the pillar of the Eastern Profound region. Night Sorrow carried the 2 spears and went to the Eastern Profound domain. After greeting Lei Hua and Kuan Nan, he went to Long Xuanxing's tent. Standing in front of the tent, Night Sorrow hesitated for a moment, worried that he might disturb Long Xianxing. "Why are you hesitating when you're already here?" Long Xianxing opened the tent and walked out. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said, "I wanted to pay you a visit, but I was worried that I would disturb your cultivation." "It's nothing. Can you use these 2 high-grade spirit spears?" Long Xianxing looked at the reincarnation spear and space-splitting spear on Night Sorrow's back and asked. "Love, Gon Little say W Chu, one of them is the spear that I've been using since I started cultivating. It's an advanced spear, so it's still compatible with me. As for the other one, I need to cultivate its compatibility with me." Night Sorrow said. "I see. I understand now." Long Xianxing nodded. Night Sorrow took out a teapot and began to make tea. Long Xianxing took out a cattail hassock and sat down. "Seniors Kuan Nan and Lei Hua, come and have some tea too." Night Sorrow greeted them. "No need. Give me a jar of your good wine." Lei Hua waved his hand at Night Sorrow. Kuan Nan also had the same intention. "Since there's wine, we won't have to drink tea. Serve the wine," Long Xianxing said. Night Sorrow nodded. Then he waved his hand at Jianghu, asking him to go and catch some prey. After that, he took out a few jars of wine and placed them on the table. "That mount of yours is incredible. It's at the peak void inquiry stage and it hasn't reached adulthood yet. Its future achievements will certainly be extraordinary," Long Xianxing said after watching Jianghu fly away. "It's not just a mount. It's also my partner. It's a partner that will go through life and death with me," Night Sorrow said. He had never treated Jianghu as a simple mount. "That's a good idea. Only by respecting each other will the compatibility be high. Only then can we truly live and die together." Long Xianxing nodded. After a while, Jianghu came back with a gray bear. Night Sorrow was very fast. After cleaning up, he started a fire and roasted the meat. Night Sorrow finished roasting the meat and opened the jar of wine. However, when he called Lei Hua and Kuan Nan over, the 2 of them were unwilling to come over. It was mainly because they were a little reserved because Long Xianxing gave them a lot of pressure. "Spirit? How can you achieve great things if you don't have spirit?" Long Xianxing glared at Lei Hua and Kuan Nan. That was why Lei Hua and Kuan Nan came over to drink and eat meat. Night Sorrow was very restrained. He only drank 1 jar and didn't drink any more. "Night Sorrow, this name is very good. Although you are a descendant of the Night Moon dynasty, you grew up in the Eastern Profound region. Therefore I have a few words to say. The state of mind and temperament determine one's achievements. The difference between a young man and an experienced man is stability. You have to pay attention to the cultivation of your state of mind. The state of mind is actually more important than your cultivation realm." Seeing that Night Sorrow had stopped drinking, Long Xianxing said, "Junior is a descendant of the Night Moon dynasty, but I also consider myself as a person of the Eastern Profound region. If something happens in the Eastern Profound region, I, Night Sorrow, will not escape." Night Sorrow nodded to Long Xianxing and said what was in his heart. It could also be considered as a promise. "All right. These words are enough. If you have any doubts or problems in the future, you can come to me. In addition, I will remind you a few words. Don't let the matter of Haotian City affect you. It is really hard to say when Haotian City will appear. It may be 3 to 5 months, or 3 to 5 years, or even 30 to 50 years. Long Xianxing said. "So long? Didn't you say that the energy wrapping around Haotian City is slowly dissipating?" Night Sorrow asked in surprise. "That is just the periphery. The space turbulence that really wraps around Haotian City has a trajectory and won't dissipate so easily. However, this is also a good place for cultivation. Alright, go back. Come back if you have something to do." Long Xianxing got up and returned to the tent. Night Sorrow nodded to Lei Hua and Kuan Nan and returned to the tent on the side of Tianji Tower. After entering the tent and drinking a mouthful of water, Night Sorrow fell into contemplation. It was hard to say when Haotian City would appear. If he delayed other things while waiting for Haotian City to appear, the gains would not make up for the losses. Thinking of this, Night Sorrow suddenly felt that Long Xuanxing's words were very reasonable. The state of mind was very important. One must be steady at all times. Shaking his head, Night Sorrow went out of the tent, took out the alchemy furnace and began to refine pills. Although refining pills would delay the cultivation of true qi and the cultivation of the myriad Tao Tome, it could quickly improve the strength of the soul. The most important point was that Knight Sorrow wanted to strengthen his alchemy skills and enter the realm of alchemy grandmaster. Then, he would be able to refine dragon spirit pills. One must know that dragon spirit pills were very helpful to venerables. It could be said that it was more effective than any spirit stones. Taking out the alchemy furnace, Knight Sorrow used low-grade materials to get the feeling. He had not refined pills for a long time, and it was very important to get familiar with the feeling. After refining a few furnaces of pills, Knight Sorrow began to refine Tier 4 pills. He intended to use them to improve his proficiency. Wu Lingfei came and then sat down to meditate. There was no one around Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow did not want to be disturbed when he was refining pills. After refining a few furnaces of Jingshen pills, Knight Sorrow went back to refining low-grade pills. He wanted to refine the best low-grade pills, which was also the mark of an alchemy grandmaster. Being able to refine the best pills without pill toxins and Tier 6 pills was the standard of an alchemy grandmaster. Chapter 703. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Shao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Failure. Failure. Failure again. Yi Shang's refinement was refined to perfection. Low-level pills couldn't withstand his refinement. However, he wasn't in a hurry. He found a sense of accomplishment in his failures. He could afford to squander low-level materials. His storage rings were filled with alchemy materials. Baidu search Love Go female sign Shao Shao at www.achux. Seeing Knight Sorrow's failure, he directly waved his sleeve to clean up the dregs. Then he continued to refine pills. Wu Lingfei knew what Knight Sorrow was doing. She knew that Knight Sorrow wasn't doing alchemy for pills, but to improve his alchemy skills. Furnace after furnace of defective pills turned into ashes under Knight Sorrow's sleeve. However, Knight Sorrow didn't care about this. He found the reason for failure every time, and found the reason for failure to lay the foundation for the next furnace. After more than 20 furnaces of qi refining pills failed, Knight Sorrow successfully refined a furnace of top-grade qi refining pills. When the pills came out, Knight Sorrow directly threw one into his mouth and then refined it to feel whether there was any pill poison. Persistent. Crazy. This was Wu Lingfei's evaluation of Knight Sorrow. She guessed that Knight Sorrow didn't notice her coming. He was wholeheartedly focused on alchemy. After feeling for a while and finding that there was no pill poison, Knight Sorrow stood up, waved his arm and growled. Can't you drink some tea and then slowly refine? Wu Lingfei said. Aunt Fei, you're here. This matter needs to be done in one go. Feeling is very important. Without feeling, my previous refining experience will be wasted. Knight Sorrow said. Yes, why are you thinking about alchemy? Why aren't you practicing spear arts? Wu Lingfei asked. It's like this. Senior Long Xianxing said that we don't know when this Haotian city will appear. It might take a long time. We can't let this matter disrupt our cultivation plan. Knight Sorrow explained Long Xuanxing's analysis. Wu Lingfei nodded. That makes sense. In fact, Auntie Fei also noticed that the energy is very condensed. It won't dissipate in a short time. We can't let this matter affect our normal cultivation. I plan to raise my alchemy level and refine the dragon spirit pill. Knight Sorrow revealed his plans. You're right. We shouldn't interrupt our cultivation plan because of Haotian City, which we don't know when it will appear. Wu Lingfei felt that she had almost affected Knight Sorrow. After drinking some tea, Knight Sorrow continued to refine elixirs. After successfully refining the top-grade qi refinement elixir, Knight Sorrow continued to refine and strengthen his proficiency. After refining the qi refinement elixir into the top-grade qi refinement elixir, Knight Sorrow began to refine the soul-gathering elixir. After failing twice, Knight Sorrow also successfully refined the top-grade soul-gathering elixir. After refining 2 furnaces, Knight Sorrow went to rest. With such a high-intensity alchemy, Knight Sorrow was also very tired. You're going to provide a large number of elixirs to the Night Moon Empire. Wu Lingfei said with some emotion. Yes, and I'm also going to give a batch to the Medicine Valley. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. The rise of a person will lead the development of the entire sect. The Medicine Valley is really a typical example. Wu Lingfei said. My cultivation path began in the Medicine Valley, so I won't forget the kindness of the Medicine Valley. Knight Sorrow said. /ZC forehead square root V hair. After drinking tea, Wu Lingfei entered Knight Sorrow's tent to cultivate. She was also guarding Night Sorrow and not letting Night Sorrow be disturbed when refining elixirs. After successfully refining the second-grade soul-gathering elixir, Night Sorrow also turned the second-grade materials in his hand into the top-grade soul-gathering elixir. Then Night Sorrow continued to move towards the third-grade soul-congealing elixir to refine the top-grade soul-congealing elixir. Although it was a little difficult, Night Sorrow still succeeded in refining it. Then Night Sorrow continued to refine, turning all the materials into elixirs. After watching Night Sorrow refine a furnace of elixirs, Wu Lingfei said, "Your alchemy skills are really good. The quality of the elixirs is high, and your refining speed is also first class. An alchemy grandmaster is amazing and respected everywhere. There are too few alchemy grandmasters in the 9 regions world. Our Qinji Tower only has one alchemy grandmaster." Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, "Some time ago I fought with several dynasties and robbed a lot of materials. Now I'm going to improve my proficiency. If my proficiency is higher, I'll fail less when refining the Dragon Spirit elixir. After all, the materials are too precious and it's not worth it to lose too much. The difficulty is that I don't have the materials for the beginner 6th grade elixir. If I directly refine the intermediate 6th grade Dragon Spirit elixir, I don't know how many times I'll fail." Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked, "You mean the materials for the 6th grade auxiliary elixir, the Origin Spirit elixir?" "Yes, the Origin Spirit elixir is an auxiliary elixir for the Supremacy realm. It's a beginner 6th grade elixir. The Dragon Spirit elixir is an intermediate 6th grade elixir. The difficulty of refining it is definitely different." Night Sorrow nodded. Wu Lingfei thought for a moment and said, "You might not have the materials elsewhere, but Tianji Tower should have them. How about this?" Auntie Fei will ask. "At worst, you can give the elixirs you refine to Tianji Tower. You just need to improve your proficiency in the refining process. If the Empyrean Extreme Tower has it, that would be the best. I'll practice my alchemy skills a bit more. The failure rate of refining the Origin Spirit pill should be very low. The Empyrean Extreme Tower shouldn't suffer any losses," said Yishan. Wu Lingfei then left to discuss this matter with Lin Yuandao, Hua Haining, and the others. Currently, Tianji Tower's materials were under Hua Haining's control. He was also an alchemy grandmaster. In the large tent of Tianji Tower, Lin Yuandao and the others were talking. After Wu Lingfei came and sat down, she talked about Night Sorrow's current situation. He can now refine the best quality spirit congealing pill, which is almost the same as my alchemy level. He can refine the Origin Spirit elixir, but it's not appropriate for him to give all the elixirs to Tianji Tower. Hua Haining said, "Ah, yes. We can't oppress the younger generation, oppress our young master." Guo Xiao also laughed. "This bastard boy still doesn't realize that he is the young master, and he doesn't realize the many authorities of the young master. He can directly find Elder Hua for this kind of thing." Latrin Swan said with a smile. "It's mainly based on the fact that he doesn't want to take advantage of anyone, so he's unwilling to open his mouth. This guy also persisted to the extreme." Xiaolanjun said. "Before going to the Supreme River Space, he said that for 20 years he would look up to the sky and bow his head to the earth. Perhaps this is his philosophy and pursuit. We don't want to change him. As for his sense of belonging to Tianji Tower, you can also feel it. There is no problem." Wu Lingfei said. "Well, let's do as Master Wu Kei says. What we need is a young master with strength of character and pride." Xiaolanjun expressed her opinion. "I'm happy that Tianji Tower has another alchemy grandmaster. You don't have to oppress me in the future." Hua Haining said with a smile. Chapter 704. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Then let's go and have a look later. Hua Haining was quite interested. 2 and SN version first V release. Where are the materials? Who's going to make the arrangements? This can't be delayed, Wu Lingfei said. That's not a problem. I have the materials for the Spirit of Origin pill in my storage ring. I plan to find some time to refine it. I can give it to him, Hua Haining said. They then arrived at Night Sorrow's tent. Seniors, why are you all here? Is something the matter? Night Sorrow looked at them in surprise. Can't I come here for no reason? The main reason is that we heard that our young master is already an alchemy grandmaster, so we came to take a look. Just do what you need to do and pretend that we are not here, Xiaolanjun said. Seniors, please take a seat. Night Sorrow nodded at them. After sorting out his thoughts, he continued to refine. For ordinary people, being watched by the big shots of the extreme heaven tower would make them nervous and likely to fail. However, this didn't exist for Yishang, so he continued to refine his own pills. Furnace after furnace of supreme-grade spirit congealing pills were successfully refined. In the middle, Hua Haining looked at the best-grade spirit congealing pill refined by Night Sorrow. After looking at it, he nodded with satisfaction because it was the same as the medicinal pill he refined. Love Gone Little Say Kunite Sorrow continued to refine medicinal pills, and bottles of top-grade spirit congealing pills entered his storage ring. It's faster than my refining speed. In 2 hours, this guy has refined dozens of bottles of the best spirit congealing pills. Hua Haining said in a low voice. He has a lot of materials and now he wants to turn them all into pills, Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow was very engrossed in refining pills and didn't pay attention to Lin Yuandao and the others. However, Lin Yuandao and the others didn't have any intention of leaving. They just sat there and watched Night Sorrow refine pills. After refining more than 100 bottles of the best spirit congealing pills, Night Sorrow took out the materials of the rank 4 medicinal pills. After dividing the materials, he began to refine the best rank 4 medicinal pills. Night Sorrow did not mind his failure. With a wave of his sleeve, he shook off the dregs of the pill and continued to refine. Hua Haining wanted to stop her, but as soon as he stood up, Xiaolanjun stopped him. After Night Sorrow failed, he waved his sleeves and continued to refine. Hua Haining anxiously paced back and forth, because a top-grade 4th-tier pill could only be refined by a mid-tier alchemy grandmaster. However, Xiaolanjun glared at him, not allowing him to speak. After failing more than 10 times, Night Sorrow did not give up. He continued to search for the reason for his failures. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow continued to refine. This time he was much slower. It took him an hour to finish refining, but he did not fail this time. After the medicinal pills came out of the furnace, he put the medicinal pills into the bottle. After Night Sorrow ate one himself, he meditated and began to refine it. Hua Haining picked up the medicinal pill bottle beside Night Sorrow, took out a medicinal pill and studied it, then nodded to Lin Yuandao and the others. At this time, Night Sorrow also stood up. After a long time, this best quality spirit calming pill has finally been refined. From today onwards, you are the #1 alchemy grandmaster of Tianji Tower. This king can only refine the best quality medicinal pills below the 3rd rank. I am powerless to refine the best quality medicinal pills of the 4th rank. Hua Haining said. Elder Hua is too serious. Night Sorrow said with a cupped fist salute. It's not serious at all. This is the main material and auxiliary material of the rank 6 medicinal pill, Origin Spirit Pill. You can use it to practice your proficiency. Hua Haining took out the materials of the Origin Spirit Pill and then gave them to Night Sorrow. Thank you, but I don't want any medicinal pills. I just want to practice my proficiency. This way, I will have more confidence in refining the mid-rank 6 Dragon Spirit Pill. Night Sorrow said. Take it. In the future, when Tianji Tower lacks medicinal pills, you can help us refine them. This way, our Tianji Tower can cultivate more talents. Xiaolanjun said. That's not a problem. I can refine as long as I have the materials. It won't waste much time. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After drinking tea with Night Sorrow for a while, Lin Yuandao and the others left. However, Wu Lingfei didn't leave. If you have nothing to do, take a rest and refine again. It's okay. It's nothing. Once I practice, I can refine whenever I want in the future. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting with Wu Lingfei for a while, Night Sorrow gave up on the idea of refining top rank 5 medicinal pills because it was unrealistic. Only a high-level alchemy grandmaster could do it. After Wu Lingfei left, Night Sorrow didn't refine any high-rank medicinal pills. Instead, he turned all the materials below rank 5 into medicinal pills. This took 4 days. Feeling a little tired, Night Sorrow stopped refining pills. He practiced his spear arts and drank tea to calm his emotions. Lin Yuandao and the others didn't disturb Night Sorrow. Hua Haining was stimulated because he couldn't understand. He couldn't understand Night Sorrow's situation. Elder Hua, don't you know that there is an ability called talent? Night Sorrow's talent is something that ordinary people can't do. Why are you blindly thinking about it? Xiaolanjun said to Hua Haining, who had been pondering. Talent? This is talent. After listening to Xiaolanjun's words, Hua Haining understood and no longer thought about why he couldn't do it. After resting for a while and sorting out his thoughts, Night Sorrow took the materials of the Origin Spirit Pill and began to refine a rank 6 medicinal pill. After failing on the first try, Yishang thought for a moment before continuing. Following this, he succeeded on the second try, which made Yishang feel quite confused. He was worried that he had made a mistake, so he took the medicinal pill to Hua Haining to appraise. Hua Haining looked at the medicinal pill and nodded to Night Sorrow. "There is no problem with the origin spirit pill. What's the matter? Are you confused?" Xiaolanjun looked at Night Sorrow and asked. "I succeeded in refining the second furnace. I was worried that I had refined it wrong, so I came to ask Elder Hua. There is no problem with the medicinal pill." Night Sorrow said. You are hitting people. Just because it was easy to refine, you suspect that you have refined it wrong? If you can refine a top-grade spirit congealing pill, you are an alchemy grandmaster and you can refine the origin spirit pill. If you can refine a rank 4 top-grade medicinal pill, then there will be no problem with refining the origin spirit pill. Hua Haining looked depressed. He rushed to the alchemy grandmaster level, but it took a lot of effort, but Night Sorrow could do it easily. Smiling embarrassedly at Hua Haining and the others, Night Sorrow left the big tent of Tianji Tower. Back in his tent, Night Sorrow continued to refine. After a day, Night Sorrow turned all the materials Hua Haining gave him into origin spirit pill. At this time he began to refine the dragon spirit pill. These days of refining medicinal pills, Night Sorrow was laying the foundation for refining the dragon spirit pill. He took out the 5-clawed pterosaur blood and then began to prepare the auxiliary materials. After the materials were sorted out, Night Sorrow began to refine. He was very careful. Although he had a lot of materials for the dragon spirit pill, they were too precious. If he failed, it would be a big loss. When Night Sorrow was refining the dragon spirit pill, Wu Lingfei and Hua Haining came over. Hua Haining watched anxiously. He knew what Yishang was refining. It was a pill that supremacy cultivators yearned for even in their dreams. One pill could raise one's cultivation by 1 level. It was absolutely heaven-defying. Night Sorrow was refining very steadily, throwing the materials into the furnace one by one. Time slipped away little by little. After 3 hours, all the auxiliary materials and auxiliary processes were done. Night Sorrow began to fuse, which was the most critical step in refining medicinal pills. Chapter 705. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by Go? Talk Network, providing you with exciting novels to read. At this moment, Hua Haining was even more nervous than Night Sorrow, because he had never heard of anyone who could refine a level 6 middle-grade pill, so the dragon spirit pill was not in circulation. Love gone little say Quen condensing the pill. Night Sorrow was a little impatient and directly exploded the furnace, causing Night Sorrow's entire body to be covered in black. Aunt Fei, Elder Hua, you guys are here. It's a pity that this furnace did not succeed. Night Sorrow wiped the black ash off his face and said with a smile. No problem, you're fine. You were just a little impatient just now. If you were a little more stable, you would have succeeded. Hua Haining understood. Rest for a while, then continue. Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded, then washed his face and brewed tea. He was not prepared to succeed in one try. The first batch was to scout the way. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow continued to refine. With the experience of the first batch, Night Sorrow succeeded on the second batch. Hua Haining took one and looked at it, then nodded. The energy it contains is astonishing, but it's very gentle. There's no problem. I'll give it to Elder Hua. Also, here are the origin spirit pills. Night Sorrow took out the 20 or so bottles of origin spirit pills he had refined and placed them in front of Elder Hua. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.ichuxs.com. I don't need the dragon spirit pill, you keep it. I'll take the origin spirit pill. To you, the origin spirit pill is useless. Hua Haining did not take the dragon spirit pill, he only kept it. He was a peak venerable, so he naturally did not need energy. His breakthrough required him to comprehend the power of rules. Wu Lingfei and Hua Haining left. Yishan found a place with a water source and took a bath. He changed into a new set of robes and returned to his tent. He practiced his spear arts for a while and stretched his body. Looking at the night sky, Night Sorrow went to meditate and cultivate. Since he had succeeded in refining the pill, all he needed to do now was to slowly refine it. After cultivating for a night, the members of the god-slaying team returned. They were all in high spirits, hunting many high-level demonic beasts, and obtaining many medicinal herbs. After chatting with everyone for a while, Night Sorrow gave Ma Zhuang and the others who had not entered the 5th stage a top-grade rank 4 medicinal pill. After 6 days, Yishang had used up a third of the materials. After refining 200 dragon spirit pills, he stopped because this was a very large number. The Medicine Valley only had 2 venerables, so Yishang only needed to send some back. The Extreme Celestial Tower gave some, the Night Moon Dynasty gave some, and the Eastern Shen region gave some. What was left was enough for Yishang to use. Night Sorrow was much more relaxed now, and he did not think about the problem of refining the pill. Night Sorrow went to the big tent of the Tianji Tower and placed 3 bottles of medicinal pills in front of Lin Yuandao. Here are 30 dragon spirit pills. Master K, you can use them as you see fit. So many? That's great. We have many venerables in the Tianji Tower. Those who have contributed will be rewarded. These dragon spirit pills are the best encouragement, Lin Yuandao said excitedly. If you need anything else you can look for me, Night Sorrow said. Sigh. Tianji Tower can only help you so much. You've been giving so much. I am ashamed. Xiaolanjun said with a sigh. She was happy, but at the same time she was very emotional and worried. Grand Elder is too serious. You gave me the movement technique without asking for anything in return. Since I am a member of Tianji Tower, I will do what I can for Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow said, shaking his head. Night Sorrow then gave Wu Lingfei 3 bottles of dragon spirit pills. Aunt Fei, these are for the Eastern Profound region. You can make the arrangements. I don't need so many. 2 bottles will be enough. Wu Lingfei only put away 2 bottles, then shook her head and said, That's fine. Aunt Fei can look for me if you need anything. Night Sorrow nodded. You are a moving treasure trove. Be careful. Don't get robbed. Lin Yuandao looked at Night Sorrow and said with a smile. I have always been the one robbing others. No one has ever robbed me. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting with Lin Yuandao and the others for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his tent. As long as he could help Tianji Tower and the Eastern Profound region, Night Sorrow would help. He liked Tianji Tower's people-oriented development strategy. The higher-ups treated and helped the members of Tianji Tower sincerely. As for the Eastern Profound region, it was the place where he grew up. Night Sorrow naturally wanted to see the Eastern Profound region become stronger. When Night Sorrow was drinking tea, Wu Lingfei came. Aunt Fei is here. Otherwise I would have gone to look for Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow said. Aunt Fei understands your thoughts. Let's go see Evil King Ling. Wu Lingfei nodded at Night Sorrow. She knew that Night Sorrow would definitely give Night Moon Dynasty resources. Then Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow and flew to the back of the island. At the same time she told Night Sorrow that when Haotian City appeared, Night Moon Dynasty's venerables and Tianji Tower's venerables would act together. However, they were not together at the moment. Tianji Tower felt indebted to Night Moon Dynasty. Therefore they would do everything they could to help and support them. In a valley, Night Sorrow saw Yi Lingxia and a few other old men. Yi Lingyuan was also there. When he did not see Yi Linglan, Night Sorrow asked. After asking, Night Sorrow found out that Yi Linglan did not come. He was worried about Sky City. He wanted to go to the Heaven Sealing Great Hall in the future. Then Night Sorrow took out a few bottles of dragon spirit pills and handed them to Yi Lingxia. He explained the effects of the pills. Pills that can help venerables increase 1 level? Yi Lingxia looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Night Sorrow spent a lot of effort to refine these. It was not easy, Wu Lingfei said. This will be a great help to Night Moon Dynasty. Yi Lingxia's hand trembled as he held the pills. Also, I became an alchemy grandmaster. I refined some top-grade pills without pill toxins. 6th uncle, you can distribute them as you see fit. Night Sorrow took out a few storage belts. These were the storage belts that Aoi had given him to store wine. Otherwise, it would have been difficult to distribute his resources. After taking out the storage belts, Night Sorrow explained the classification of the pills. I have to go back. Mistress Wu Kei, I will not accompany you. We can talk later. Yi Lingxia cupped his hands to Wu Lingfei and left the colonel. He was anxious to send a portion of the pills to Night Moon's Sea Clan. With this batch of resources, the Night Clan would be even stronger when they left the Night Moon Sea. After exchanging a few words with Yi Lingyuan, Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei returned to the camp at Tianji Tower. The rest is the Medicine Valley, right? Later, Aunt Fei will help you send the resources to the Medicine Valley, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. She understood Night Sorrow and knew what Night Sorrow was thinking. Aunt Fei, take this storage belt. When the time comes, arrange for someone to give it to my master. Night Sorrow took out another storage belt. How can such an important resource be given to someone else? If Aunt Fei has nothing to do, then I will go back. What do you plan to do next? Wu Lingfei asked after putting away the storage belt. Most Xenu Chapter Q Section J in End. Chapter 706. Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second/Small? This is a wonderful novel for you to read. When Long Xianxing said that this was a good place to cultivate, Night Sorrow had an idea and planned to enter the Realm Sea to cultivate. Other places might not be suitable, but this place was. The chaotic space here was very suitable for Night Sorrow to cultivate spatial rend. It was also very suitable for tempering his true qi in Myriad Dao's treasured tome. That's a good idea, but it's a little dangerous. If you can't handle it and get sucked in, you'll be in big trouble. Wu Lingfei said worriedly. I'll handle it well. Besides, I have the space-time pagoda to protect me. I'll be fine. Night Sorrow said. That's fine. I'll return to the Eastern Xian region later. I'll help you take care of it. Wu Lingfei said. After saying a few more words to Night Sorrow, Wu Lingfei left. She had to go to the Eastern Xian region to distribute the resources. She also had to return to the Eastern Xian region to take care of Night Sorrow's matter. After Wu Lingfei left, Night Sorrow returned to his tent and sat down to cultivate. It was a little late and it wasn't suitable for him to cultivate in the Realm Sea. While cultivating, Night Sorrow felt the density of his true qi. He felt that his foundation was very stable. He took out a dragon spirit pill and swallowed it. Then he began to cultivate. He wanted to experience the effects of the dragon spirit pill. As soon as the pill entered his stomach, its effects took effect. Night Sorrow used the space-time pagoda to cultivate his soul power and bloodline power. The Myriad Dao's treasured tome was naturally cultivated. Night Sorrow used all his strength to refine the dragon spirit pill. Once he started refining, Yishan couldn't stop because he had to completely refine the medicinal strength of the pill. If he didn't refine it, the medicinal strength of the pill would still be emitted, which would be equivalent to wasting it. Night Sorrow continued refining for more than 20 days. When his cultivation base reached the peak of the first level, he could no longer advance. Night Sorrow stopped cultivating. After leaving the tent, Night Sorrow practiced his spear art for a while before sitting down to drink some tea. Feeling his body, Night Sorrow felt that the dragon spirit pill was indeed overbearing. Raising his cultivation by 1 level was not a lie. What he needed to do next was to stabilize his cultivation as much as possible and increase his control over his Jin Qi. While Night Sorrow was drinking tea, the members of the god-slaying squad returned. Yeah, everyone's in good shape, Night Sorrow said. We've been back twice and you were always in a state of cultivation. It's rare to see you not cultivating, Yang Lei said. Yes, I ate a pill. Refining it will take some time. Baidu search Love Gong Xiao Shua www.ichuxs.com. Night Sorrow laughed. I'll go. Captain, what's going on? Yun Huang looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. He realized that Night Sorrow's cultivation base was at the peak of the first level. I just ate the dragon spirit pill. I used it first to familiarize myself with its medicinal properties. I don't want to spoil you, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Captain is mighty. Ling Long said excitedly. Yeah. I'll give each of you 3 pills, but there are some things I need to make clear. Before you eat the second pill, you need to settle down properly. If you don't settle down properly, then don't expect to get another pill from me in the future, Yishan said as he looked at Yun Huang and Ling Long. Love go little say W. Chu Captain, don't worry. When I want to eat the second pill, I'll definitely ask you, Yun Huang promised. At the same time, Ling Long nodded at Yishan. The two of them wouldn't act recklessly in this matter. Refining the pill will take a long time. You're almost done with your training. Go back. Ninth senior sister and Chu, you are also about to break through, Night Sorrow said. When can you go back? Sikong Chiu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'll cultivate here and see what's going on, Night Sorrow said. Captain Ling Long and I don't need to go back, right? We can cultivate here in peace. If anything happens, we can deal with it in time, Yun Huang said. Yun Huang voiced his thoughts. He and Ling Long were both venerables. They had to go to Haoyan City when it appeared. All right. You two can cultivate here. When you feel that your true qi is condensed and your foundation is solid, go eat the pill. Ling Long's current state is not suitable for the dragon spirit pill, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Then Night Sorrow took out the airship and let the members of the god-slaying squad board it. He put down the spiritual stones and led the group to the Realm Sea near Haohai City. It's so convenient to have this thing. Without it, we wouldn't be able to cross the Realm Sea, Yang Lei said. True. but it's very difficult to make an airship. It's already good to have one, Night Sorrow said. He knew that Wu Lingfei had taken care of him. Otherwise it would have been very difficult to get one. After sending the group to Haohai City and to the teleportation array, Night Sorrow flew back to the island in the Realm Sea. Night Sorrow had the Void Fate Pearl to protect his Spirit Sea. He wasn't afraid of the Realm Sea's law attacks. Flying the airship was convenient, but Night Sorrow wanted to experience the Realm Sea. He wanted to enter the Realm Sea to cultivate. After returning to the camp, Night Sorrow saw that Yun Huang and Ling Long had brought back some wild beasts and were roasting them. Captain is back. The barbecue will be ready soon. Bring out the wine, Ling Long said. Night Sorrow smiled and took out the wine jug. Captain, you can refine level 6 medicinal pills. That means you've become a Grandmaster Alchemist, Yun Huang said to Night Sorrow. The Dragon Spirit Pill is a mid-level level 6 medicinal pill. Logically speaking, I should be a mid-level Grandmaster Alchemist, Night Sorrow said. Captain, you're amazing. We won't have to worry about medicinal pills in the future, Ling Long said with a smile. After drinking the wine, Night Sorrow told Yun Huang and Ling Long about the importance of their foundation. Then he flew toward the edge of the Realm Sea. Arriving at the edge of the Realm Sea, Night Sorrow calmed his mind and charged towards the area where the chaotic flows of space were rampant. There was no danger in a place without chaotic flows of space, so there was no point in tempering himself. After leaving the edge of the Realm Sea for some distance, the turbulence appeared. Night Sorrow put up a protective barrier and continued to approach the so-called location of Haotian City. Because they were close to Haotian City, the turbulence was effective for Night Sorrow. As he went deeper into the Realm Sea, the turbulent energy of the turbulence began to pressure and erode Night Sorrow's protective barrier. Using his movement technique, Night Sorrow sliced back and forth in the spatial turbulence. As he cultivated his movement technique, he honed his cultivation. Thanks to Night Moon's experience in cultivating the spatial rend, Night Sorrow was able to move through the turbulence with ease. His mutated protective barrier had incredible cutting power, and all he could cut through were the cracks in the turbulence. Feeling that he had used up too much energy, Night Sorrow returned to the edge of the Realm Sea. 5 start. After thinking for a moment, Night Sorrow found a large piece of dead wood and placed it in his storage ring. When he felt the need to rest, he would have the space-time pagoda land on the wood and enter it to recover. That way he wouldn't have to go back and forth. After recovering for a bit, Night Sorrow headed back into the Realm Sea. This time he went deeper into the chaotic flows of space to work on his movement technique and spear technique. At the same time, he tempered his own true energy, which had just risen to new heights. Chapter 707. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go/Little? I'll provide you with a wonderful novel to read. Wu Lingfei had returned a few days ago. She had sent the resources that Night Sorrow had given to the Medicine Valley to Jianghu and told him about the Dragon Spirit Pills. After receiving the resources from the Medicine Valley, Wu Lingfei made some arrangements for the Eastern Xian region. She also sent out a portion of the Dragon Spirit Pills. Qin Nan and the Blood Strike Guard commander were both venerables. They needed to increase their strength. After making arrangements for the Eastern Xian region, Wu Lingfei went to the Eastern Xian region's camp on the island and gave Lei Hua, Kuan Nan, and the others a few Dragon Spirit Pills. Not bad. This little guy is really good. He really wants to help the Eastern Xian region. Long Xianxing said after learning that Night Sorrow had taken out the Dragon Spirit Pills. Wu Lingfei nodded. She was very moved. As the Eastern Xian region's domain lord, she naturally wanted to see the Eastern Xian region rise. Night Sorrow had done this to give the Eastern Xian region a chance. This is an opportunity for the Eastern Xian region. It's a good thing. How's the little guy doing? Long Xianxing asked. He's already a mid-level alchemy grandmaster. I just returned and haven't seen him yet. Wu Lingfei said. What he needs the most is stability. Although it's a chaotic world, we can't put all the pressure on a child. Let him take his time. Long Xianxing said. When Wu Lingfei went to see Night Sorrow had already started cultivating in the Domain Sea. The energy in the spatial turbulence was very terrifying. It was the most violent of all kinds of energy. Anything that came close would be annihilated. Night Sorrow used his spatial energy shield to constantly cut and dodge in the spatial turbulence. Even so, the energy in the spatial turbulence was still very strong against his protective energy shield. Every time his bloodline's energy was almost exhausted, Night Sorrow would use his Void attribute defensive energy shield. Night Sorrow noticed the difference between the two types of spatial chi shields. The Bloodline energy shield was a little faster, but it consumed a lot of energy. The Void chi barrier's cutting power wasn't as strong as the Space chi barriers, but its ability to resist attacks was much stronger. Could even be said that it was twice as strong. The only positive R version, Bichia his E and all % are pirated U version. Night Sorrow understood that this was the difference between the Supreme attribute and the Advanced attribute. The Void attribute suppressed the other attributes. No matter what attribute it was, it could not suppress or restrain it. Even the Destruction attribute could not do so, so the consumption was small. What Night Sorrow wanted to hone was his true chi, so every time he used up his true chi and innate bloodline energy, he would recover them. When Wu Lingfei saw that Night Sorrow was not in danger, and that he was immersed in cultivation, she sat down at the edge of the realm sea and began to cultivate as well. After cultivating for 2 days, Night Sorrow had a new idea. While he was sharpening his true chi and bloodline talent, he could use the myriad Daos tomes energy to attack the spatial turbulence. When he recovered, the 3 types of energy could be recovered at the same time. This way he would be able to increase his strength at the same time. As for soul power, Night Sorrow had Little Kong assist him in his cultivation. As he became more familiar with the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow could go deeper and deeper, and his true chi cultivation base grew more and more condensed. This situation made Yishang very happy. Although his cultivation base did not increase very quickly, it was the most stable way to cultivate. It could be said that he had strengthened his foundation. As he cultivated in the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow's speed increased even with the use of his Void attribute energy shield. Although he couldn't cut through the spatial turbulence like a Void attribute energy shield, he still had the ability to melt through it. Night Sorrow was very interested in cultivating, and he didn't feel tired at all. He felt that this was the best way to improve his overall strength. Because he needed to use his soul strength to search for weak spots in the spatial turbulence, it consumed a lot of soul strength. That meant he could improve quickly. Night Sorrow felt that it was the most suitable cultivation method for him to improve all of his abilities. Wu Lingfei didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she saw Night Sorrow enter the realm sea. However, she knew that this was Night Sorrow. He was stubborn and tenacious. After cultivating for a month and a half, Night Sorrow had gone dozens of kilometers into the spatial turbulence. He could go anywhere he wanted, mainly because his movement technique had improved greatly. He felt that he should go back and see how Yun Huang and Ling Long were doing. In addition, he felt that Yi Lingxie should also be back. He also wanted to know how Night Moon's people were doing. Wu Lingfei, who was meditating, also stood up when she sensed that Night Sorrow had returned. "You went in for so long. Don't you know how to come out and rest?" Wu Lingfei glared at Night Sorrow. "The cultivation effect is strong, so I plan to improve myself more. How is the situation in the Medicine Valley? Is there any movement outside?" Night Sorrow asked. "Everything is good now. The appearance of Haoyin City diluted some disputes and interests. Everyone's eyes are on it. However, as they investigated, they found that the spatial turbulence outside Haoyin City is very solid. It has no intention of dispersing on its own," Wu Lingfei said as she led Night Sorrow to the camp. "Long Shenxing was right. We can't delay other things because of this. We have to cultivate as we should," Yi Shang said. "That's right. How are you now?" Wu Lingfei asked. "I can hold on for a while after entering the spatial turbulence. I plan to observe Haoyin City from a close distance, but I can't do it," Night Sorrow said. "You really dare to dream. The spatial turbulence contains violent energy and destructive energy. You still want to get close to Haoyin City? It's too dangerous. Don't mess around." Wu Lingfei turned around and looked at Night Sorrow. She was really worried that Night Sorrow would be so daring that he would dare to do anything. "I went a few dozen kilometers deeper from the area where I stood with Auntie Fei last time. There is no problem with safety. My Void energy shield can withstand it," Night Sorrow said with a smile. The Void energy shield can indeed ignore the corrosion of all kinds of energy, but you have to leave some leeway for yourself. You must leave enough energy to return. Otherwise you will be caught off guard, Wu Lingfei said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, she understood why Night Sorrow could withstand it. It was because Night Sorrow's attributes were higher than the attributes in the spatial turbulence. There was no such thing as suppression or restraint. My cultivation base is low. If my cultivation base was high enough, I would be able to pass through the turbulent flow of space. However, It's good to consolidate your cultivation base in the turbulent flow of space. It can make your cultivation base more solid, said Yishang with a smile. Your situation is really special. Auntie Fei can't give you any advice, but you must remember that safety is the most important thing, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Auntie Fei, don't worry. I plan to go to Night Moon Dynasty's camp to see if my sixth uncle has brought back any news, Night Sorrow said as he looked in the direction of Yi Lingxie and the others. Chapter 708. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. When Night Sorrow arrived at the call, Yi Lingxie and the others were cultivating. When they noticed his arrival, they all stood up and bowed to greet him. Yi Lingxie also cupped his hands. The pills have been sent to the family, Yi Lingxie said to Night Sorrow. Then we still need to get some more. After all, the current members of the Night Moon Dynasty also need to cultivate and improve their strength, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. He couldn't watch the Night Moon Dynasty fall into a state of stagnation. We didn't send all of them in, just a portion. The Night Clan doesn't need so many pills. Sixth uncle sent them in according to the demand. Right now, there's no problem with the supply of Night Moon's resources. Yi Lingxie shook his head after hearing Night Sorrow's words. He knew that Night Sorrow had misunderstood him and thought that all the pills had been sent in. That's good. If there's still a lack of resources, sixth uncle can let me know. Night Sorrow nodded to Yi Lingxie. It's enough. You've taken out so many pills. How is it not enough? Even in the heyday of the Night Moon Dynasty, the supply of resources wasn't as abundant as it is now, and the quality wasn't as high. Yi Lingxie shook his head. He felt an inexplicable pressure in his heart because the current Night Moon could be said to be on Night Sorrow's shoulders alone. Then Night Sorrow and the others sat down. Yi Lingxie talked about the current situation of Night Moon. Night Sorrow also mentioned the reason why Haotian City couldn't appear recently. The time is uncertain, but it doesn't affect us much. Night Moon is now managed by the members of the branch. Elder Linglan is fully responsible for Night Moon's matters. There won't be any mistakes, Yi Lingxie said. Currently, our Night Moon needs saints and invincible venerables. We can't help with saints, so we have to create invincible venerables. Sixth uncle, what's your situation? Asked Night Sorrow. He hoped that Yi Lingxie could enter the invincible venerables realm. Not now, because the Night Moon Sea is an area with dense spatial energy. In the seal, the bloodline power can't be strengthened. Uncle can't enter the invincible venerable level, but he's still at the top of the peak venerables, said Yi Lingxie. In other words, you need to strengthen your bloodline talent now. If you can enter the invincible venerable realm? Night Sorrow asked. That's right. Right now, sixth uncle is between a pinnacle honorable and an invincible honorable. But don't worry. When the family reappears, sixth uncle can spend some time to go to the family's blessed land to strengthen himself. Yi Lingxie said. Will space crystals work? Night Sorrow asked again. Yes, but where can you get them? You can't get them even with top-grade spirit stones, so you don't have to worry about this. Just take care of yourself. Yi Lingxie patted Night Sorrow's shoulder with a smile. That's good. Take these. Night Sorrow took out 10 space crystals and 20 top-grade spirit stones. Why are there so many? Yi Lingxie stood up excitedly. Uncle, take them to cultivate. In the future, if saints don't interfere, invincible venerables will be the key to victory. You must become an invincible venerable, said Night Sorrow. Take them back. Your future is the most important. Resources should be used where they are needed most. Sixth uncle can take his time. As long as his bloodline talent is strengthened to the extreme, he can continuously use space slash and become an invincible venerable. It's not difficult. It's just a matter of time. Yi Lingxie didn't take the resources. Uncle, just take them. I have the help of the pagoda of time and space. My own improvement won't be a problem, said Night Sorrow. Yi Lingxie looked at Yi Lingyuan and the others behind him and said, take back those top-grade spirit stones. Granduncle's cultivation has reached a bottleneck. He doesn't need energy to increase his cultivation. As for them, the dragon spirit pill is enough. Alright then. Do you need space crystals? Night Sorrow looked at Yi Lingyuan and the others. No need. Our talent is limited. We can't use space slash and can only use space slash. The dragon spirit pills are enough. Thank you, young master. Yi Lingyuan and the others bowed. Although they didn't need the space crystal, they were very touched by Yishang's words. The space crystal was a top-grade resource, but Yi Shang was willing to take it out for his family. Alright, then I'll take my leave. Sixth uncle, if there's anything you can find me over there. Night Sorrow pointed in the direction of his camp. Night Sorrow left. Yi Lingxia was still deep in thought. He was greatly moved. At the same time, he understood that Night Sorrow was really going all out for the family. Prince, Night Moon is lucky to have such a young master, said Yi Lingyuan. Yes. Night Moon needs time. He also needs time. With his talent, he is destined to become an invincible venerable in the future, and a king among invincible venerables. Even higher achievements won't be a problem, murmured Yi Lingxia. Yi Lingyuan and the others didn't know, but Yi Lingxia knew that Night Sorrow's bloodline far surpassed the ancestors of the Yi clan. When he grew up, his achievements were destined to surpass them. There were records in the Yi clan's ancient records that if one could activate 6 bloodline energy points, they would be able to comprehend space law because they had the power of law. In other words, there was a high chance of entering the Saint Realm. This was also why Yi Linghuan could become a half-step saint without an origin stone and continue to strive for the Saint Realm. It was because he had 5 bloodline energy points. Night Sorrow returned to the camp and saw Yun Huang, who was practicing his knife skills. Captain, you've been running for a month and a half. Where did you go? Asked Yun Huang as he put away his scimitars. I went out to cultivate. You need to stabilize your cultivation after eating the dragon spirit pill. Also, it's important to have a high degree of control. Is Ling Long meditating? Asked Night Sorrow. She's been working hard recently. Her foundation is unstable and she can't eat the dragon spirit pill. How can she not be anxious? Said Yun Huang with a smile. It's not good to talk about people behind their backs. Do you understand? Ling Long walked out of the tent. I didn't say anything bad about you, said Yun Huang speechlessly. Okay, Tianyu, go catch some prey. Let's drink. Night Sorrow said and let Tianyu out. Eating barbecue, Night Sorrow repeatedly emphasized the problem of using the dragon spirit pill. He didn't want to cheat Yun Huang and Ling Long. After eating the barbecue and drinking some wine, Night Sorrow went into the tent and directly fell down to rest. He was very tired these days, but the effect was still very obvious. Look at the main chapter, Forwardfish. After resting for a night, Night Sorrow practiced his spear skills for a while and then came to Wu Lingfei's tent. You're here. How is it? Did things go well in the Night Moon dynasty? Asked Wu Lingfei as she got up and made tea. It went very well. There were no problems. Night Sorrow nodded. Chapter 709. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I will provide you with interesting novels to read. It's nothing. I like the feeling of cultivation very much. Love go little say web, Night Sorrow said. Not everyone can be like you. Take Aunt Fei as an example. After reaching the place where I explored that day, I would have to consume a lot of energy to enter again. Aunt Fei's life law is ineffective against the destructive energy in the spatial turbulence. That is the energy of supreme beings. Even if cultivators of other attributes have comprehended the laws, they won't be able to suppress the spatial turbulence. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said with a smile. She understood that only Night Sorrow could cultivate like this. The others could only watch helplessly. On the island occupied by the Qingtian region, Sacred Yin, she was sitting cross-legged in a large tent. 2 men were standing in front of her. If Night Sorrow was here, he would recognize them. One of them was his old enemy Jianghu. The other was Su Mu, who came from the Medicine Valley just like him. Don't be distracted by the emergence of Clear Sky City. Su Mu, you have to strengthen the cultivation of your mental state. Otherwise, you will be stuck at the peak void inquiry stage because your cultivation base is not high enough. Yin, she looked at Su Mu and said. Disciple understands. Su Mu bowed and said. Jianghu, the time attribute is indeed strong. However, Night Sorrow has the innate bloodline of the Night Moon dynasty. His space attribute is not much weaker than your time attribute. You have to cultivate your combat ability more. His combat ability is very outstanding. Yin, she looked at Jianghu and said. When Clear Sky City emerges this time, I will definitely kill him if I see him. Jianghu's eyes were filled with killing intent. No one hated Night Sorrow more than he did. He hasn't broken through to the Venerable Realm yet. You can't attack him. Otherwise, if the Tianji Tower wants to kill you, no one will be able to protect you. If he enters the Venerable Realm, it will be a different matter. The period when he has just broken through to the Venerable Realm is the best time. Yin Shi's eyes flashed with 2 rays of cold light. I can't get any news about him at the moment. However, since Clear Sky City has appeared, he will definitely try to break through to the Honorable Realm. As long as he appears in Clear Sky City, I will kill him. I won't give him any chance to jump around, Jianghu said. The Silver Sunset Saint nodded. She and Xiaolanjun were enemies. Night Sorrow was someone that Xiaolanjun valued highly. He could be said to be one of the key figures in the next generation's showdown. Therefore, she did not want to see Night Sorrow continue to grow and be killed by a cultivator of the same level. That could only mean that Night Sorrow was not strong enough. Xiaolanjun could only bear with it. That bastard, I can't wait to kill him. Sumu also cursed angrily. He was originally a genius disciple of the Medicine Valley, but Night Sorrow's appearance had destroyed everything he deserved. Sumu, you have comprehended the extreme earth element and you also have the wind element. You have both speed and strength talent, so you can't rush it. First, you have to improve your realm. Second, you have to improve your combat ability. This is very important. Inshi looked at Sumu and emphasized again. Inshi knew that in terms of combat ability, no one in the same level of cultivation was a match for Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's 5th stage cultivation was able to escape from a 6th stage venerable. He could also kill a 1st stage venerable. This was something that other cultivators did not even dare to think about. Senior, Night Sorrow was able to kill a 3rd stage venerable because his realm was high. After he entered the venerable realm, did he not have any qualitative improvement? In other words, when he was at the peak of the 5th stage, his combat ability was not much different from when he entered the venerable realm. Jianghu asked. It's hard to say. Once he enters the venerable realm, Night Moon Dynasty and Tianji Tower will definitely equip him with spirit tools. He can use spirit tools and has the Spacetime Treasure Pagoda, so he won't be easy to kill. However, once you have the chance, don't let it go. Now, unless something happens to him, the one who has the highest chance of killing him is you. Have you refined the time crystal? Inshi looked at Jianghu and asked. Yes, I have. The time element has been strengthened by 20%. If it was the same situation as before, killing him wouldn't be a problem. Also, I don't know why, but his body can block my time sword chi. Jianghu nodded and thought for a moment before asking. B #A? B. 1 Original EEP #T is a pirated S, he can block your time sword chi? That's an ability that only those with high or supreme attributes can have. Could it be that he has some secret? She stood up and paced back and forth thinking. Yes. Last time, my time sword chi managed to cut through his defensive energy shield a few times. However, once it entered his body, it lost its power. It could have cut him in half, but it only managed to cause some minor injuries. Jianghu said, trying to explain the confusion in his heart. His body cultivation is quite good, and his essence chi smoke is about 40 to 50 feet high. However, this can only mean that his body is strong and his blood is vigorous. It can't be the reason why he can block the time sword chi. There should be something we don't know. Shi Saint analyzed and said. Besides, if he can't restrain the time sword chi in his body will constantly destroy his body's functions. However, not long after that, the massacre of the Tianfeng dynasty happened. This shows that the time sword chi has no effect on him. Jianghu said again. This guy really can't be allowed to grow. As long as we see him, we must kill him if we have the chance. Shi Saint felt that Night Sorrow was a hidden danger. She couldn't let Night Sorrow continue to grow. After that, Shi Saint left the tent and went to find her subordinates to investigate Night Sorrow's situation. She didn't think much of it before, but after listening to Jianghu's description, she felt that Night Sorrow was too big a threat. After arranging people to find out about Night Sorrow, Shi Saint called West Nether region's West Tai Tsang and Tai Ching region's Chen Yuan to her tent. Her main purpose was to discuss how to get rid of Night Sorrow. This guy is a scourge. The fact that he can survive in the Supreme River space means that he has strong survivability. In addition, he has killed many venerables, which means that he has the strength to fight above his level. If we can't kill him, we must kill him even if we have to lose high-level venerables, Chen Yuan said. That's fine. I will send a high-level venerables to Qingtian region. You two will do the same. Send a venerables each to wait in Taiching City. When he comes out, attack him as soon as you see him. Even if we have to sacrifice 3 high-level venerables to kill him, we must kill him. Shi Saint's eyes were full of killing intent. That's right. Not only is he a threat, he's also the link between the Eastern Xian region and Perian Terminus Tower and Night Moon Dynasty. We definitely can't let him rise. Otherwise he'll become a potential threat to us. Western Taitsong nodded in agreement with Silver Dusk Saint's opinion. After that, the three divided the work. Yin Shi Saint sent people to watch the teleportation formation in Taiching region, West Taitsong sent people to watch the Tianji Tower branch in Taiching region, and Qin Yuan sent people to hide outside the headquarters of Tianji Tower in Qingtian region. After the three of them reached an agreement, they all went to make arrangements. It was equivalent to arranging a sure-kill situation for Night Sorrow. Chapter 710. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. On Night Sorrow's side, he drank tea with Wu Lingfei. After chatting for a while, he went to the Eastern Xian region's camp. He brought 2 jars of wine and drank with Long Shenxing before returning to his tent. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.ichuxs. Zone Night Sorrow practiced the basics for a night. When the sun rose, he held the space splitter spear and practiced his concept for a while. Then he roasted the bird that Tianyu had caught. Tianyu still remembered that Night Sorrow liked to eat bird-type demon beasts, so when it could catch birds, it would definitely catch other demon beasts. Night Sorrow cooked up some bird barbecued meat. Yun Huang and Exquisite would definitely not let it go, and the three of them ate it. Captain, don't train too hard. Take it slow. Ling Long said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. Now that he was in the middle of his cultivation, he naturally wouldn't give up. After chatting with the two of them for a while, Night Sorrow arrived at the edge of the realm sea with the spear on his back. His figure flickered, and he entered the chaotic streams of space within the realm sea to begin cultivating. Yun Huang sighed. He's talented and hard-working. If we slack off, we won't be able to fight together in the future. We're not bad either. We just need to work hard. Even if we can't beat the captain, we can still beat the others, Exquisite said. After that, the two of them went back to cultivate. Yun Huang's cultivation was at the peak of level 1 Martial Saint, but he needed to stabilize his cultivation. Ling Long needed to stabilize her cultivation before eating the Dragon Spirit pill. After Night Sorrow entered the realm sea, he was like a fish in water, shuttling back and forth in the chaotic streams of space. While shuttling back and forth, Night Sorrow was still practicing his spear arts with the space-splitting spear. Night Sorrow was cultivating his compatibility with the space-splitter spear. He was nourishing it with his own energy and aura. When his true body could use it, his doppelganger could use it as well. Night Sorrow was able to persist in the turbulent space for longer and longer, mainly because of the increase in speed, coupled with the fact that his true chi cultivation was becoming more and more solid. Other people needed crystals to cultivate and strengthen their attributes, but Night Sorrow didn't need them. His Heavenly Fate Jewel constantly released nothingness energy. Not only did it strengthen Night Sorrow's soul energy, but it also strengthened Night Sorrow's true energy. When he was tired from cultivating, Night Sorrow entered the Spacetime Pagoda to recover. As he cultivated, Night Sorrow lost track of time. At the same time, he kept going deeper and deeper. The dead trees brought by Night Sorrow were destroyed even though they were close to the surface of the sea. They had been destroyed for quite some time. Now, every time Night Sorrow recovered, the Spacetime Pagoda would float in the realm sea. Even so, it consumed a lot of energy. After recovering once again, Night Sorrow communicated with Shao Kong and asked about the situation of the Spacetime Pagoda. After talking with Shao Kong, Night Sorrow found out that the Spacetime Pagoda could withstand the turbulent space. However, Shao Kong needed spirit stones. In the past, Night Sorrow had invested 7,000 to 8,000 mid-grade spirit stones. At this rate, they should be able to last for 1 month. Then I'll continue to give you spirit stones. Is that okay? Can you refine and consume them in proportion? Night Sorrow asked. As long as there are spirit stones, the turbulent space outside cannot damage the Spacetime Pagoda. However, the amount of spirit stones consumed is proportional to the intensity of the turbulent space. In other words, the deeper you go, the more spirit stones you need to consume, Shao Kong said to Night Sorrow. We don't lack spirit stones. The main thing is not to harm you and the Spacetime Pagoda's main body, Night Sorrow said. As long as there is a supply of energy, it will be fine. If it doesn't work, I can just utilize the power of time. The turbulent space cannot do anything to me, Shao Kong said. That's good. Let me store the spirit stones for you. Night Sorrow took out 300 high-grade spirit stones and threw them into the Sikong Pagoda for Shao Kong to store. These will be enough for a long time. Shao Kong put away the spirit stones. After dealing with the spacetime pagoda, Night Sorrow began to meditate and recover. If the spacetime pagoda was fine, he was safe. Then Night Sorrow began to cultivate day and night. His cultivation base became more and more condensed, especially his bloodline talent and soul power. His cultivation base improved rapidly. As he went deeper into the turbulent space became more violent. However, Night Sorrow felt that the greater the pressure, the better. Only then could he continue to cultivate. If he could cultivate his movement technique in the Realm C, it would be faster and more flexible when he used it outside. As the pressure increased, Night Sorrow switched to a spear and began using the reincarnation spear to fight. As he executed his movement technique to slash, he executed his spear art to continuously bombard the spatial turbulence attacking him. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. After consuming a lot of energy, Night Sorrow entered the spacetime pagoda to recover. At this time, Wu Lingfei and Xiaolanjun were standing where Wu Lingfei had taken Night Sorrow to see Clear Sky City. This little madman. When he comes out, we must teach him a lesson. Wu Lingfei's face was full of worry. Because Night Sorrow was already 100 miles deep into the turbulent space, Wu Lingfei and Xiaolanjun could only see a shadow shuttling through the turbulent space. He's too strong. Even I can't go 100 miles deep. Xiaolanjun sighed as she watched Night Sorrow, who was like an eagle striking the waves. He can't be thinking of approaching Clear Sky City, right? Wu Lingfei expressed her concern. She was afraid that Night Sorrow would do that. Xiaolanjun looked carefully and shook her head. No, he's just engrossed in cultivation. He has no goal. Do we need to bring him back? Otherwise it's too dangerous. Wu Lingfei said. Xiaolanjun shook her head. That's not necessary. He's crazy, but he won't joke about his life. If he's fine for so long, there shouldn't be any problems. An eagle needs to spread its wings and soar into the sky. We can't tie his wings, Xiaolanjun said. Night Sorrow kept shuttling through the turbulent space of the Realm C, brandishing his reincarnation spear to bombard the turbulent space that attacked him. When he couldn't hold on any longer, Night Sorrow entered the spacetime pagoda to rest and recover. Xiaolanjun and Wu Lingfei only returned to the edge of the Realm C after watching Night Sorrow disappear. Although I know he's fine, I'm still worried, Wu Lingfei said. Well, it's not a big deal. Xiaolanjun shook her head and smiled at Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow stayed in the same area and cultivated for a few days. Then he continued to go deeper. He was looking for pressure. Night Sorrow, he's consuming a lot now. He consumes at least 10 upper-grade spirit stones a day. The spirit stones you gave me can last for a month. Shao Kong said to Night Sorrow. It's consuming a lot. Let's go back and rest for a while. Night Sorrow decided. I thought you were going to rush all the way to Clear Sky City. Although it's not very far, the turbulent space surrounding Clear Sky City is too terrifying. We can't do it, Shao Kong said. Chapter 711. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow returned to the edge of the Realm C and was greeted by Wu Lingfei's roar. Night Sorrow shrunk back in fright. He had never seen Wu Lingfei so angry before. Do you still dare to do this in the future? Wu Lingfei glared at Night Sorrow when she saw that Night Sorrow didn't say anything. I don't dare. Anifei, I'm safe. First of all, I can handle it. Also, I have the pagoda to protect me. If I can't handle it, I can enter the pagoda to recover. But if Auntie Fei says no, then I won't go. Night Sorrow whispered. Safety is the most important thing. As long as you grow, you'll be invincible in the same realm. Invincible venerables can do it. Plus, you have the nihility origin. It won't be difficult for you to enter the sage realm. So, some risks aren't worth it. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said earnestly. I know. Night Sorrow nodded. Although he didn't think it was dangerous, he didn't want to refute Wu Lingfei's words. He would only do as she said. Let Auntie Fei think about this matter. Now let's go back and make tea. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow let Tianyu out to catch demon beasts while he and Wu Lingfei returned to their tent. Night Sorrow, Auntie Fei doesn't want to nag you, but you really have to be careful. The spatial turbulence is no joke. What if the pagoda can't handle it? Wu Lingfei spoke of her worries. Over there, the pagoda needs me to provide spirit stones. As long as there are enough spirit stones, there won't be a problem. Although the consumption is a bit high, I can handle it. Night Sorrow explained the situation of the pagoda. As long as there are spirit stones, you can handle it. How many spirit stones do you need a day? Wu Lingfei asked while making tea. In the area I go the deepest, 10 high-grade spirit stones a day. Night Sorrow said. 10. You are such a wastrel. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Wu Lingfei sighed and said, I can still withstand it. I've been to different spaces a few times, and I've accumulated a lot of high-grade spirit stones. I can withstand it after cultivating for a few years, Night Sorrow said with a smile. I can't communicate with someone like you who has a rich family. But since it's like this, you can go if you want. But there's one thing, you have to come back once every half a month. Knowing that the pagoda of time and space could hold, Wu Lingfei didn't insist that Night Sorrow couldn't enter the realm sea to cultivate. Ah, Anifei, you've agreed. Truth be told, my cultivation base has risen very quickly while cultivating inside. My soul power and bloodline talent have all improved by leaps and bounds. However, my body cultivation has reached a bottleneck and I need to advance steadily. My true energy has also become much more condensed. Night Sorrow smiled as he explained his gains. Yes. Perhaps this path really suits you. Go barbecue. Let's drink some wine so you can relax. Wu Lingfei nodded to Night Sorrow. Wu Lingfei had been excited because she was worried about Night Sorrow's safety. Now that she knew that Night Sorrow's safety wasn't a problem, she didn't insist. Night Sorrow roasted the antelope Tianyu had caught, took out a few jars of wine and called Yun Huang and Ling Long over. BQ only T7 $1 positive W dollar edition Vinj, it, KHO all, is, pirated R and Captain, I plan to eat a dragon spirit pill. What do you think? Ling Long asked Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. If you feel that your primary energy is condensed and your foundation is solid, then go ahead and eat it. You know your own foundation so you can control it in the future. After eating and drinking, Wu Lingfei wanted to see Night Sorrow's movement technique and Night Sorrow's progress. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao say www.ichuxs. Night Sorrow nodded. He activated his bloodline talent and activated his protective shield. He cut back and forth in front of the tent at an incredible speed. That's enough. Even a mid-level supremacy is only as fast as you. Your protective barrier is very sharp. Any cultivator who is hit by you will be severely injured. Our efforts during this period were not in vain. Seeing Night Sorrow's speed, Wu Lingfei nodded with satisfaction. She didn't want Night Sorrow to be arrogant. In fact, Night Sorrow's speed had already surpassed an intermediate supreme. Yun Huang and Exquisite were very shocked because Night Sorrow's speed was simply too terrifying. They could not compare to him at all. Just by relying on speed, Night Sorrow could completely crush the two of them. Before Wu Lingfei left, she told Night Sorrow to rest for a few days. Yun Huang and Exquisite chatted with Night Sorrow. They also wanted to cultivate like Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and felt that Yun Huang and Exquisite could do it in the spatial turbulence in the outer region. This region was not attacked by the laws of the realm sea. Hearing Night Sorrow's agreement, Yun Huang and Exquisite were very happy and pulled Night Sorrow to drink. After drinking, Night Sorrow entered the tent to meditate and cultivate. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, several people were discussing something in the tent of Tianji Tower. There was True Sea Sage of the North Sea region, Southern Sage of the Southly region, and Flying Tiger Sage of the Unbounded Desolation region. I can confirm that Black Dragon Sage went to the island in the Sky Pillar region, Flying Tiger Sage said. There's West Blazing Sage Shi Taitsong, Grand Yuan Sage Qin Yuan, Great Desolation Black Dragon Sage and Silver Dusk Sage there. They still have no advantage against us, True Sea Sage said. They'll still think of ways to strengthen their team. They're not calm, but there's nothing we can do about it. Besides, with Qin Yuan's influence, the 7-star Sage of the Sky Pillar region will probably go there as well. However, as soon as he shows any signs, I'll immediately kill him. Xiaolongyuan's eyes were filled with killing intent. Her temper was rising because Silver Dusk Sage did not care about the unity of the 9 realms. True Sea Sage nodded and said, their small team shouldn't be left alive. If they go too far, we'll start a war. Everlasting Sage, you can stop Silver Dusk Sage. I'll kill Western Taitsong. Flying Tiger Sage also expressed his stance. Yes, Black Dragon Sage is on par with me. I can stop him. Nan Qianxing said, I don't care about Qin Yuan. Xiaolongjun thought for a moment and said, if they don't go too far, we'll bear with it. Master Wu Kei, Chief Kei and Director Gua are all improving their strength. They'll be a great help. Besides, Yi Ling Huan of the Night Moon Empire is not too far away from being born. What we need to become stronger is time. True Sea Sage said, that's true. Let's see if they've made any moves after the birth of Clear Sky City. If they do, don't give them any face. Xiaolanjun looked at Tai Shu Yen and asked, Deputy K Master Tai Shu, do you have any hope now? No, I might be able to enter the half-step Saint realm, but it'll take a long time. Tai Shu Yen said. It's mainly because Long Xianxing is difficult to talk to. If he's willing to help us, Silver Dusk Sage and the others will have to behave themselves. True Sea Sage said helplessly. Chapter 7:12. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Wu Lingfei looked at Xiaolanjun and the others and smiled helplessly. I was chatting with Senior Long Xianxing about the Eastern Xian region and Night Sorrow. As for the situation of the 9 regions, Senior Long Xianxing didn't mention it at all. Love divided by go divided by little. Say www.achux.com. This guy's bad temper is really worrying. I'll go see him tomorrow and see if I can persuade him. Xiaolanjun sighed. Long Xianxing was a veteran saint, and there was a precedent of him killing veteran saints. In fact, in the hearts of all the saints, Long Xianxing was the strongest, and the one who should not be provoked the most. If Long Xianxing stood on the side of the extreme heaven tower, then the Silver Dusk Saint would have to behave. After chatting for a while, everyone dispersed. Wu Lingfei came to Night Sorrow's camp and watched Night Sorrow cultivate. She also meditated in Night Sorrow's tent. Love, Gone Little Say, W. Chu. Since obtaining Dongshuan's origin, Wu Lingfei's cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds. It could be said that there were no obstacles or bottlenecks. This was the benefit of the origin power's recognition. Now she was worried about Night Sorrow. Wu Lingfei treated Night Sorrow as her family and also regarded Night Sorrow as the future pillar of the Eastern Xian region. She didn't want to see anything happen to Night Sorrow. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow was stunned when he woke up. He didn't know when Wu Lingfei had come. It wasn't that Night Sorrow's vigilance was low, but that Wu Lingfei had used the power of law to control her aura and energy to not leak out. In addition, she didn't have any hostility. I just came to see you. Your cultivation state is good. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. Don't worry, Aunt Fei. I will be obedient and rest well for a few days. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then let's go out and take a look at the Eastern Xian region, said Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow nodded his head. He also planned to take a look at the Eastern Xian region's camp. Listening to Long Xuanxing's words would allow him to gain a lot of experience. Soon after, the two of them arrived at the Eastern Xian region. At this time there were more people in the Eastern Xian region. Qin Nan and a few of the Blood Strike Guard commanders had also arrived. Night Sorrow arrived in front of Long Xuanxing's tent and took out a small tea table to make tea. At this time, Long Xianxing also came out of the tent and sat down on a praying mat, waiting for Night Sorrow to make tea. Your condition is not bad, and your true qi is also very condensed. It seems that you are working very hard. Long Xianxing said. Senior, you don't know this, but he's been cultivating in the Realm Sea recently. He's gone 100 miles into spatial turbulence, said Wu Lingfei. You rascal, there's a limit to everything. Don't force yourself. Long Xianxing said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. Thank you for your reminder, Senior. Night Sorrow will know when to stop. By the way, what kind of scripture are you cultivating? The few forces in the Eastern Xian region don't seem to have any high-level scriptures. Long Xianxing looked at Night Sorrow and asked. The Sacred Cauldron Scripture. It's the Sacred Cauldron Scripture of the Medicine Valley. It can be cultivated to the 7th Order Sage realm. Night Sorrow said. That's still not high enough. Let me do some research and get you a suitable scripture. Long Xianxing said. Fastery on 5C, there are scriptures for cultivation above the 7th Order? Night Sorrow asked curiously. Of course there are. Demonic beasts and spirit beasts have their own inheritances. The level of their cultivation depends on the level of their cultivation. Also, only a very ancient clan would have such an inheritance. Ordinary forces and clans don't have it. Long Xianxing said. Is this appropriate? Night Sorrow didn't want to take out a clone cultivation technique with Wu Lingfei to resist the punishment. There's nothing inappropriate about it. I've killed saints in the past and I have their scriptures. I'll take a look at it later and see which one suits you. Long Xianxing said. Just as they were talking, Xiaolanjun arrived. When she arrived in front of Long Xianxing, Xiaolanjun cupped her hands. Wuji Saint is too polite. Sit down and drink some tea. Long Xianxing nodded at Xiaolanjun. After greeting each other, Long Xianxing continued to talk with Night Sorrow, sharing some of his insights. Senior Long Xianxing, I have something to talk to you about. Xiaolanjun said. I know what you want to say. I also know that it's not easy for you. You've always wanted to maintain the balance of the 9 regions, but some people just don't live up to your expectations. What can you do about it? You can either kill them. Long Xianxing looked at Xiaolanjun and said. If we kill them directly, the strength of the 9 regions will be damaged. It won't be easy to deal with the calamity in the future. Xiaolanjun said helplessly. You still expect those people to contribute to the 9 regions? Why can't you see through it? Long Xianxing looked at Xiaolanjun and said. Senior is right. There's something wrong with my thinking. They have formed a circle now and it's not easy to deal with them. Xiaolanjun said. I didn't want to get involved in this matter. But since you're here, I won't embarrass you. Inform me when there's a battle. I'll deal with those from the West Nether region. Long Xianxing said. Thank you, Senior Long Xianxing. It'll be much easier for us to deal with West Taitsong. Xiaolanjun said. I'm not interested in that small fry. I can kill him with a slap. I'm talking about West Nether region's heavenly underworld saint. If he makes a move, all of you together won't be able to do anything. Long Xianxing said. Heavenly underworld saint? Xiaolanjun was a little surprised. She had never heard of this name before. That guy hides very well. It's normal that you don't know him. He was defeated by Yi Tian and then went into hiding. He's very strong. Don't worry about this. I'll deal with those from the West Nether region. Take this communication crystal. If I'm not here, send me a message. Do you still want to drink tea? If you don't want to drink tea, you can go back. Just looking at you makes me feel conflicted. Long Xianxing glared at Xiaolanjun. Drink tea. I'm here to drink tea. Xiaolanjun quickly said. After drinking tea, Xiaolanjun left. She had achieved her goal, but she didn't expect that another expert would be involved. The water is deep. Heavenly Underworld Saint and I are not from the same era as her. Of course she doesn't know. Long Xianxing said as he watched Xiaolanjun leave. If Senior is willing to step forward, she will feel more at ease. Wu Lingfei said. The tree wants to be quiet, but the wind won't stop. I didn't want to get involved in this matter. I just want the East Nether region to be peaceful. But now I have no choice. I can't just watch a woman take the lead and be a coward. I'm from the Black Tortoise race, but I won't shrink back. Long Xianxing said. It's Junior's fault. I've dragged Senior down. Wu Lingfei said apologetically. Chapter 713. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Wu Lingfei nodded. She knew that Long Xuanxing's attitude towards the world had changed. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs.com. Kid, is there something you don't understand? Long Xianxing asked when he saw Night Sorrow pondering with his head lowered. I understand the world of chaos, but what do you mean by the world of great strife? Night Sorrow asked. In the past, I pursued inaction, protecting the Eastern Shen region's pure land, earning some merit and obtaining luck. However, when the world is in chaos, it means that the opportunity has come. Who can rise and who can obtain the opportunity will depend on the individual's ability. This is the world of great competition. Long Xianxing explained to Yi Shang. Then this junior understands. Yi Shang nodded. Fight hard. If there's an opportunity, take it. Our Eastern Shen region has several generations of people here. If the Eastern Shen region wants to rise, let's fight together. Kill whoever blocks the way, said Long Xianxing. All right. Kill whoever blocks the way. Night Sorrow nodded. After staying for a while, Night Sorrow left the Eastern Shen region's camp and returned to his camp. Yun Huang and Ling Long weren't there. Night Sorrow knew that the two of them had gone to the edge of the Realm Sea to cultivate. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow decided to continue cultivating in the Realm Sea and return to Sky City later. In any case, the Night Moon Dynasty was in a stable state. No one would be bold enough to attack the Night Moon Dynasty or Sky City. Night Sorrow got up and walked towards the Realm Sea. He didn't know that his decision had temporarily prevented a massacre. When he arrived at the edge of the Realm Sea, Night Sorrow saw Yun Huang and Ling Long cultivating in the realm sea, fighting against the spatial turbulence. The spatial turbulence was terrifying, but the two of them were at the periphery, so the pressure was not that great. If they were to cultivate like Night Sorrow, they might be instantly killed. After bidding farewell to Yun Huang and Ling Long, Night Sorrow cast a spatial energy shield and headed into the realm sea. Captain's speed and ability are too abnormal, Yun Huang exclaimed as he watched Night Sorrow enter the spatial turbulence. That's because he has a space-type protective energy shield. Plus, his combat power is very strong. We can't compare to him. Ling Long's mind was very calm. Ling Long was a celestial terminus emissary of Tianji Tower. Her attribute was fire, and it was the ultimate attribute of the fire attribute. Like Yun Huang, she was also the ultimate attribute of the common attribute. This was why they were able to become celestial terminus emissaries. Those who could become celestial extremity envoys all had outstanding talent. It was very difficult for those with ordinary attributes to stand out. Yun Huang, I'm going to eat some elixirs and cultivate later. Leave your mount behind to guard me, Ling Long shouted to Yun Huang while fighting in the spatial turbulence. Okay, but take it easy. You don't lack time. It's better to have a stable foundation. I'll wait for you, Yun Huang reminded Ling Long. He was genuinely worried. IG, look at the CW chapter of the OS version. Section 3 on T%L, thank you. No need to wait. I'll catch up, Ling Long replied. Night Sorrow went deeper into the realm sea. After 100 miles, he began to cut back and forth in the spatial turbulence. At the same time, he brandished the Space Splitter Spear and fought against the spatial turbulence. Without pressure, Night Sorrow was unwilling to use the Reincarnation Spear. Improving the compatibility of the Space Splitter Spear was something that had to be done. However, as Night Sorrow nourished himself day and night, the Space Splitter Spear was now somewhat compatible with him. The power of the Space Splitter Spear was also much stronger than before. When he was happy from fighting, Night Sorrow would roar a few times. Recently, he had been very carefree because some of his troubles had been resolved. Now he could focus on cultivating in peace. In the eastern Xian region's Medicine Valley, Guanyi was talking to Jianghu in the Pill Cauldron Great Hall. Master, I really want to go out and explore. Don't men live to fight? 13th junior brother, 9th senior sister, and 6th senior sister are all fighting very well. I can't let go of my hands and feet just because I died once, said Guanyi. Little Yi, it's not suitable for you to go to 13th's team. Your 6th senior sister and 9th senior sister are 13th's fiancés, so it's not inconvenient for him to command the team. However, you can't. You're the senior brother. Jianghu voiced his worries. Master, actually, some things aren't that complicated. You're the sect master. Those martial uncles and elders also listen to your orders. I'm not going to be a senior brother in 13th's team. I'm just going to be an ordinary member. Guanyi's attitude was very firm. He just wanted to fight in the outside world. He had recently entered the 5th Order, and with his high attributes, his combat strength was very strong. Master, why don't you let 12th junior brother go? You can just tell 13th junior brother. Ma Zhuang, Tang Tian, and Chu Ning are also doing very well in that team. The last time I came back, I saw that their cultivation had improved a lot. Moreover, they're very solid. They're real men now. Gong Xian said. Alright then. I don't know where to find him. However, I'll go to Tianji Tower and ask. I should be able to find out. Then let's go. Jianghu thought for a moment and felt that this was the path Guanyi had chosen. There was no need to stop him. The rest was up to Night Sorrow. After informing Gong Xian, Jianghu led Guanyi to the teleportation array in Danding Square. Now that Jianghu had left the Medicine Valley, he was relieved. This was because the Medicine Valley didn't only have 2 venerables, but 3. The Great Elder had also successfully entered the Venerable Realm a few days ago. After arriving at Danding City, Jianghu first went to the Tianji Tower branch to ask about Night Sorrow's situation. Enforcer Dong bowed to Jianghu. Valley Master Lu, I don't know about this matter. The matter of the young master is confidential. However, you should go to the Tianji Tower branch in Dongshan City and ask. There should be some news. Young master. Enforcer Dong, are you saying that Night Sorrow is now the young master of Tianji Tower? Jianghu asked in surprise. Yes. Valley Master Lu, don't you know? Some time ago, the headquarters sent an order that all the branches in the 9 zones and 18 states, even the branch masters, must listen to the young master's orders. However, it was only an order. I don't know the details, Enforcer Dong said. Well, I won't disturb you any longer. Yu Yangyu left the Tianji Tower branch with Guan Yi. This guy, I haven't seen him for a while, but he actually became the young master of Tianji Tower, the #1 force in the 9 zones. He didn't even tell the sect about this, Yu Yangyu muttered in a low voice. 13th junior brother isn't a showy person. He doesn't care about this. If he did, he would stay in the Medicine Valley and be the deputy valley master, Guan Yi said with a smile. That's true. Your 13th junior brother has a good state of mind. It's hard for external things to affect him, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. Master, some time ago, eldest senior brother asked me to go to Bamboo Garden City to check on 13th junior brother's situation. That guy is really unreliable. He often talks about 13th junior brother. The Bamboo Garden City lord also doesn't know what's going on. He respects 13th junior brother, so he put that guy in an important position. Now that guy is the deputy manager of the city lord mansion, Guan Yi said. Chapter 7:14. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That's true. 13th junior brother is hard to deal with, but 9th senior sister can. However, with 9th senior sister's temper, that guy is in for a bad time, Guan Yi said with a smile. Yes, your 9th senior sister is good at managing the household. She and your 6th senior sister are polar opposites. With them by your 13th junior brother's side, he will have less to worry about. Now let's go to Dongshan City's Tianji Tower and ask around, Yu Yangyu said. Yu Yangyu and Guan Yi arrived at Dongshan City's Tianji Tower branch. Yin Shui personally received them and told Yu Yangyu about the current situation. That means Night Sorrow might not be in Sky City right now? Yu Yangyu asked with a frown. %/only CX positive version V, I and others? Is stolen F version 3G? Even if the young master isn't here, Guardian Yang Lei and Guardian Sikong should be. It's the same if you go there, Yin Shui said with a smile. Then let's go there and take a look. Even if he couldn't see Night Sorrow, Yu Yangyu wanted to see if Aoi and Yang Lei were doing well. Yin Shui decided to personally send Yu Yangyu and Guan Yi over. After they arrived at Qingtian City's Celestial Peak Pavilion and asked around, Lan Yushuan personally sent Yu Yangyu and Guan Yi to Sky City. Aoi and Yang Lei were very happy to see each other. Yang Lei personally prepared the food and wine, but Lan Yushuan had left. Now that the higher-ups of Tianji Tower weren't around, she had a lot of things to do. While eating, Yu Yangyu told them why he brought Guan Yi along. Guan Yi also stood up and said that he was here to train himself. In the team he was Guan Yi, not Night Sorrow's senior brother. However, the only person who can make decisions in the God-slaying squad is 13. We don't have the authority to do anything. Let's wait for 13 to return first, Yang Lei said. I understand. Guan Yi nodded. He understood the situation of the God-slaying team. After eating and drinking tea, Guan Yi talked about Chen Chen's matter. After hearing Guan Ye's words, Yang Lei's face turned cold. That bastard, he really went this far. I'll go back and deal with it later. The human heart is hard to fathom. However, we still have to inform Father Gu about this matter, said Sikong Chiyu. Then we'll go back tomorrow. Yang Lei wouldn't tolerate anyone using Night Sorrow's name to mess around. After sending Yu Yangyu back, Yang Lei followed him to Danding City. Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei met Papa Gu and told him about it. Love Gong little Seika, he's really disappointing. He's going down a path we don't want to see. Yang Lei, you go and deal with it. No matter how you deal with it, it won't be too much. He only interacted with Night Sorrow because of me. Night Sorrow's name isn't something he can use, Papa Gu sighed and said. I won't do anything to him, but he can no longer hold any management position in the cities in the Medicine Valley area, Yang Lei said. Alright, we're already being extremely benevolent by not pursuing the matter. Papa Gu nodded. After that, Papa Gu also expressed that he didn't want to see Chen Chen again and asked Yang Lei to deal with it as she saw fit. After that, Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei went to Zhuyuan City together. When they saw Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei, the governor of Zhuyuan City and a disciple of the North Pole Peak, Zhang Ling, led his people to bow to them. Yang Lei stood up and looked at Qin Qin, who was wearing a brocade robe, and said, Qin Qin, if you relied on your own ability to become a deacon or a manager, that's your own ability. But relying on the name Night Sorrow won't do. From today onward, you're not allowed to hold any management position in any city in the Medicine Valley area. Why, am I not doing well enough now? Is this Night Sorrow's idea? Qin Qin's expression changed. Night Sorrow doesn't have time to care about these things and he doesn't know about this. I don't know if you're doing well, but you didn't get to this position by relying on your own ability, but by relying on the reputation of others, Yang Lei said. I'm not convinced, Qinshan said coldly. I don't care if you're convinced or not. Zhongling in the Zhuyuan city area, no one is allowed to use Night Sorrow's name to do things. Take care of whoever you see. Yang Lei looked at Zhongling. This is my dereliction of duty. Zhongling bowed and said, Master, then this disciple will take her leave. Without even looking at Qinshan, Yang Lei bowed to Yu Yangyu. Go. I'll inform all the cities under the jurisdiction of the Medicine Valley of this matter. Yu Yangyu nodded. After hearing Yu Yangyu's words, Qinshan's expression turned even uglier because this meant that he would be completely banned. It's your own mentality that's flawed. Back then, Night Sorrow prepared resources for you and even prepared a rank 4 mount for you, but you chose this path yourself. From now on we're strangers. After glancing at Qinshan, Yang Lei left Zhiyuan City. On Yu Yangyu's side, accompanied by Zhang Ling, walked around Zhiyuan City. As for Qinshan, no one paid any attention to him. Yang Lei wanted to talk to Papa Gu about the situation and then return to Sky City. Temperament determines success. No one can do anything about him like this, but don't tell 13 about this. It's meaningless, Aoi said. Then Aoi and the other 2 girls took Guan Yi to the training field of the God-slaying squad. They introduced Guan Yi to Ho Jian and Shui Ling and explained the situation. 6th senior sister, you know that only the captain can make the decision to recruit people, but there's no problem with everyone cultivating together, Ho Jian said. Then Guan Yi stayed behind to cultivate with everyone. Night Sorrow cultivated in the Realm Sea every day, but after going 100 miles deep, Night Sorrow stopped because this place was just right for him to train. Usually, Night Sorrow used the Void Splitter Spear and only used the Reincarnation Spear when the pressure was particularly high. In addition, Night Sorrow also found that the energy surrounding Haotian City did not dissipate. Night Sorrow also noticed that the energy was not naturally wrapped, but seemed to be operated by a formation. The fact that the energy did not dissipate was a good thing for Night Sorrow because he could continue to cultivate without losing the training of the space turbulence due to environmental damage. As for consumption, Night Sorrow did not mind. Recently, he had been sorting out the resources in the storage ring. Some mid-grade spirit stones and low-quality top-grade spirit stones were given to Shao Kong. Shao Kong also liked this situation. This was also a training process for her. On this day, while Night Sorrow was shuttling back and forth in the space turbulence of the Realm Sea, he found something unexpected. He found that there was a figure in the space storm about a dozen miles ahead. This made Yi Shang very shocked because he hadn't seen anyone enter, but now there were people inside. Night Sorrow shuttled back and forth in the space turbulence while observing the situation of the figure. As he observed, Night Sorrow found that the figure was spinning in the space storm and was not moving on its own. Night Sorrow, that's a corpse. There's no soul fluctuation. Shao Kong communicated with Night Sorrow. A corpse? It's not annihilated or torn apart in the space turbulence. What's going on? Night Sorrow was very shocked because he could not understand what was going on. Get close to it and get it out, Shao Kong said. The 5th update has arrived. Who cares about his sister? Also, after I posted an announcement to stop updating, some brothers and sisters gave me some tips. Today it's even more of a return. Chapter 7:15. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. No, that area is very dangerous. It's very difficult for us to get close. Love gone little say, Chu. Night Sorrow observed for a while and said. Night Sorrow could travel through the spatial storm, but it also depended on the intensity of the spatial storm. If it was too strong he could not get close. The spatial protective chi shield could be cut, but it couldn't do so in places with high density. Where the corpse was, the spatial storm was filled with black and red energy, which was destructive energy. The void protective chi shield could withstand it, but it would consume a lot of energy. Something that can survive in that spatial storm is definitely not simple. If we have the chance, we have to get it and study it, said Shao Kong. Night Sorrow also understood this, so he kept his eyes on the corpse as he traveled through the spatial turbulence. If he had the chance, he would get closer. The corpse also drifted toward the periphery of the spatial storm. Night Sorrow was also trying his best to get closer. As he got closer, Night Sorrow saw that the corpse was not a normal human. It was 3.5 feet tall and had 2 hideous curved horns. Yishang could see that it was an incomplete demon beast. He knew that it wasn't a human corpse. Night Sorrow kept getting closer. When he could not take it anymore, he entered the spacetime pagoda to recover and let Shao Kong pay attention. At this time, Night Sorrow did not care about the consumption and directly gave Shao Kong 100 high-grade spirit stones. Love Gong Little Say, Chu. After recovering, Night Sorrow continued to approach the corpse. With Night Sorrow's efforts and the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow and the corpse were getting closer and closer. What's going on? Night Sorrow found that there was a lot of hair on the surface of the corpse. When the energy cut the hair, it was shaken away. Shao Kong could not answer Night Sorrow's question because she did not know either. This area was very dangerous. Night Sorrow was very cautious. He did not want to be swept into a place with violent spatial turbulence, even if he had Shao Kong. The spatial turbulence around Night Sorrow had reached a terrifying level, and the entire realm sea was filled with roiling energy. Night Sorrow continued to use his body technique to slash, and the reincarnation spear also continued to attack, blasting away the spatial turbulence that was attacking him. The corpse floated outside, getting closer and closer to Night Sorrow. When there was still about 1 li left, Night Sorrow discovered that something was wrong. The spatial turbulence had changed direction, and the corpse was about to be sucked back. This situation made Night Sorrow anxious. If the corpse was sucked back, then all his efforts would have been for nothing, and all his efforts would have been for naught. With a low roar, Night Sorrow unleashed a spatial rend. His body followed behind the spatial rend as he rushed towards the corpse. After unleashing 2 spatial rends, Night Sorrow was still a few dozen feet away from the corpse. Night Sorrow exhaled and poured the energy of the Myriad Dao Tome into his left hand. Using the energy of the Myriad Dao Tome, he wrapped the sky-piercing spear with the 5-clawed pterosaur tendon and flew out. He wrapped the sky-piercing spear around the corpse's leg and pulled it back fiercely. Night Sorrow was afraid that the 5-clawed pterosaur tendon would be destroyed by the spatial turbulence, so he wrapped it with energy. As Night Sorrow's arm shook, the corpse was pulled to his side by Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow wanted to put the corpse into his storage ring, but after testing he found that he could not do so. Night Sorrow's expression changed. He grabbed the corpse's horn with his left hand and cut through the spatial turbulence, rushing out. This place was extremely dangerous. One careless mistake and he would be torn apart by the spatial turbulence. Night Sorrow tried several times while carrying the tall corpse, but he could not put it into his storage ring. Let me try. At this time Shao Kong, who was in Night Sorrow's sleeve, roared. Following that, the spacetime pagoda's body suddenly enlarged. The bottom layer opened and a spatial vortex appeared, pulling the corpse into it. Night Sorrow cut back and forth, avoiding the spatial turbulence. He saw that Shao Kong was struggling to pull the corpse, but after a few breaths of time, Shao Kong still managed to pull the corpse into the spacetime pagoda. At this time, Night Sorrow grabbed the Sikong pagoda and continued to rush out. After rushing out for a distance, he entered the spacetime pagoda to rest. You can do it. Otherwise it would be very troublesome to carry it out. When I want to recover, I don't even know what to do with it. Night Sorrow took out a wine jar and drank a mouthful. $in forever equals free to read novels for a long time. Just now, I used 20 high-grade spirit stones. My body became bigger and was washed by the spatial turbulence. I can't take it anymore. Shao Kong said. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow continued to rush out. This was still a dangerous area. Night Sorrow didn't want to stay here any longer. After 4 hours, Night Sorrow rushed out of the spatial turbulence and arrived at a safe area. Looking back at the black and red spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow breathed a sigh of relief. He finally rushed out. His body was covered in sweat. The main reason was that he was too nervous. If he wasn't careful, he could have died in there. Flying back to the border of the realm sea, Night Sorrow looked at Yun Huang and Ling Long, who were still cultivating. Night Sorrow then returned to his tent. Just as he sat down and drank a mouthful of water, Wu Lingfei came over. Why are you sweating? Seeing the sweat on Night Sorrow's face, Wu Lingfei was shocked. Night Sorrow was a venerable. It was very strange for him to sweat. And Fei, I encountered something today. Night Sorrow waved his arm and brought the corpse into the tent. What is this? Wu Lingfei's face was full of shock. Then Yishang explained the situation he had encountered from beginning to end in detail. You're really bold. You dare to touch anything. After speaking, Wu Lingfei squatted down and began to study the tall corpse. As she observed, Wu Lingfei's face changed. It's an ancient mutated beast, golden growler. It's above the saint level. Its fur is not corroded by any energy. Its spirit sea is empty, but there's still a very strong energy in its body. Its heart is still beating, but it's not obvious. Wu Lingfei said. It was swept here by a spatial storm from Clear Sky City. In other words, it's related to the disappearance of Clear Sky City. It's from the same era? Knight Sorrow's face was full of shock. It's possible. It doesn't have the aura of Nine Realms world. It shouldn't be a life form of Nine Realms world. It's dangerous. We can't give it a chance to recover. After speaking, Wu Lingfei waved her arm and a white palm print entered the tall corpse. Knight Sorrow also knew that this was an unstable factor, but he didn't expect this guy to be so strong. Sit down. Let's talk slowly. Golden Growler is a time attribute beast. It has never appeared in our Nine Realms world, so the origin of this corpse is worth thinking about. And he also has a storage ring. Wu Lingfei reached out and took the storage ring from Golden Growler's left hand, then threw it to Knight Sorrow. Then Knight Sorrow opened the storage ring and took out all the resources inside. However, there were many things that Knight Sorrow didn't recognize. Saint Crystal. This guy actually has Saint Crystal. It seems that things are really complicated. Wu Lingfei picked up a crystal and said, Saint Crystal Core? It doesn't look like it. Knight Sorrow said. Chapter 7:16. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? This is a wonderful novel for you to read. There is such a spirit stone? Why haven't I heard of it? Knight Sorrow asked. Love go little say webku because our Nine Zones world doesn't have high-grade minds, Wu Lingfei said to Yishan. Unless the space and the world are very mature and old, they can't have such minds. This golden growler must have something to do with the ancient investiture of the gods. Take the Holy Spirit Stone. Yishang nodded and put away the 7 to 8 Saint Spirit Stones. Following this, Wu Lingfei continued to organize the resources that Yishan had taken out from his spatial ring. There were 100 top-grade spirit stones and a few elemental crystals. However, there weren't many, there were only a few lightning and wind elemental crystals. Why are you putting them there? Keep them, huh? There are also desolate stones like these. They will be very useful for you, Wu Lingfei said as she picked up a yellow speckled crystal. Aren't desolate stones only found in the desolate sea? How could he have them? Knight Sorrow could not understand. The desolate sea is not only in the nine-domain world but also in other worlds and spaces. This golden growler is a time attribute beast, so it is reasonable for it to have desolate stones. These 4 desolate stones are of high quality. Take them and use them. They can probably increase your power of desolates by a lot. How is your power of desolates now? Wu Lingfei asked Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow told her about the fusion of his power of desolates and body refining energy. You took a little risk, but since you succeeded, there is nothing to say. This guy has a lot of refining materials. It seems that your luck is very good. Also, it is hard to estimate the situation in Haotian City. It should be a battlefield, Wu Lingfei said as she looked at the golden growler's body. I can't keep this guy in the storage ring. Knight Sorrow nodded. He also realized that things were not simple. There are some things that I don't mind telling you. Saints aren't the focus of cultivators. When you cultivate to the extreme, you can achieve immortality. This guy's body is immortal, but his life force has been frozen by Auntie Fei, Wu Lingfei said. What should we do with the corpse? Knight Sorrow asked. He was worried about this problem. It has to be destroyed. His divine sea is empty, which means that his soul is not here. If his soul is not destroyed like the Dark Spirit Saint, then his soul can find a body and be reborn. So we can't keep this corpse. Wu Lingfei said. That's not right. If his soul isn't destroyed, I can't open his storage ring. Love gone little sake, Knight Sorrow said. That's not an absolute assumption. If his soul was severely injured, the soul imprint on the storage ring would naturally dissipate. If his soul recovered and he couldn't find his body, the storage ring wouldn't be imprinted again. You can still open it, said Wu Lingfei. I see. Auntie Fei, you can deal with the corpse as you see fit. I have no objections. Knight Sorrow nodded. Let's do it this way. Auntie Fei will take this corpse and show it to Senior Long Xianxing. If it's destroyed, Auntie Fei will give you the materials on his body. Wu Lingfei said. Okay, Auntie Fei, deal with it as you see fit. Knight Sorrow nodded. Soon after, Wu Lingfei left with the corpse. Yishan was making tea. He also needed to relax a bit. This time he had been really nervous. They had entered the depths of spatial turbulence. If they weren't careful, they could have died. Knight Sorrow had the spacetime pagoda to protect him, but it could only be used in the cracks of the space turbulence. Once he was sucked in, he would be surrounded by the destructive energy. He couldn't enter the spacetime pagoda even if he wanted to. It was normal for him to be destroyed. The space turbulence was the manifestation of the heavenly Tao. It was very difficult to resist. While Knight Sorrow was drinking tea, Yun Huang and Ling Long returned. Captain, your cultivation base is very condensed. Are you going to break through? Yun Huang looked at Knight Sorrow in surprise. He could see the depth of Knight Sorrow's cultivation base. It's condensed enough, but it's not controllable enough. I still need to cultivate. You have to pay attention to this. Condensing one's true qi is one of the aspects of a solid foundation. You can't ignore the degree of control. You have to know that it involves the speed of true qi circulation, explosive power, and so on. Knight Sorrow looked at Yun Huang and said, I know. But no matter how solid it is, it's much faster than natural cultivation. Yun Huang smiled. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to continue cultivating in the realm C. Ling Long said, Safety. Safety first. Knight Sorrow looked at Ling Long and said, he had the spacetime pagoda to protect him, but Yun Huang and Ling Long didn't. Captain, don't worry. We won't do anything rash. Yun Huang nodded. After the three of them drank some tea, Yun Huang and Ling Long left. They had their own tents. Knight Sorrow also sat down to cultivate. But it was just a normal cultivation. He had originally planned to absorb the power of desolates to cultivate. But now that his myriad Dao treasured tome was at level 9 Dao querying realm, if he cultivated too quickly, it would have the disadvantage of an unstable foundation. While Knight Sorrow was cultivating, Long Xianxing and Wu Lingfei were studying the corpse. It's an ancient beast, the golden growler. And its cultivation base is very high. Because of the special characteristics of its body, it wasn't destroyed by the turbulence of space. If this fella's soul isn't destroyed, it's possible for its soul to return to its body. So we can't give it a chance to live. Let me destroy it. Long Xianxing nodded to Wu Lingfei. After that, Long Xianxing opened and closed his hands, and a yellow space with a diameter of 10 feet appeared. Then the corpse of the golden growler was sucked into the space. After that, the space began to distort, and the corpse of the golden growler was torn apart. After that, the space continued to distort, and the corpse of the golden growler was completely crushed. Then flames appeared in the space and burned the corpse. Wu Lingfei was shocked. Because Long Xuanxing's first move was a fusion of several attributes. The chaotic space was a fusion of the earth, space, and wind attributes, and also the fire attribute. There are still 2 horns that haven't been destroyed. But it doesn't matter. Long Xianxing waved his hand, took out the 2 horns and handed them to Wu Lingfei. At the same time he kept his chaotic space. What they didn't know was that at this time in a special space, a man in a golden robe was shouting, Who destroyed this king's body? If this king finds out, he will definitely turn you into ashes. After shouting for a while, the man in the golden robe calmed down. Jianghu, what's going on? A black-clothed man appeared in front of the golden-robed man. Bo Qing, this king's body has been destroyed. There is no connection with him now. The golden-robed man Jianghu said. WC is the only genuine copy of Asterisk. It's and he was robbery. Edition 1 inch. Could it be that there's another expert in the 9-domain world? Otherwise, Brother Jianghu's body wouldn't have been destroyed so easily, said the man called Bo Qing by Jianghu. That's hard to say. This king will definitely not let this matter rest. Since he can't return to his physical body, he'll have to think of some other way to reconstruct his physical body. Jianghu replied coldly. Yes, this must be done. After we recover, we have to go back. We've really had enough of this damn place. Bo Qing said irritably. But we didn't complete the mission. If we go back, we'll be in big trouble. A hint of fear appeared on Jianghu's face. Chapter 717. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Jianghu did not speak anymore and continued to meditate. Bo Qing also got up and left the area. Baidu searched Love Go divided by Xiao at www.itux. Come in the Nine Domains world. After Long Shenxing threw the horn to Wu Lingfei, he sighed and shook his head. You guessed it right. The soul of the owner of this body is not destroyed. Just now, this seat felt that the destroyed body had a connection with the outside world. At the same time, I also felt that there was karma attached to me. This seat is hated by someone. Is that so? Wu Lingfei asked in surprise. Yes, this world is really chaotic. We only saw the body of a golden growler. What about the rest? This is just a little bit of the surface of the water. There will be great horror in the future. Long Shenxing said. Baidu searched Love Go divided by Xiao Shuat www.ichux.com. What should we do? Wu Lingfei also had a headache because the situation was very difficult to control. Domain Lord, you have to speed up the refining of Dongshuan's origin. Then even if the world is in chaos, Dongshan region may still be a pure land. Long Shenxing said to Wu Lingfei. Yes, I will work hard. Wu Lingfei nodded. At this moment, Xiaolanjun and Nanshen Sheng came over with a young man. Seeing this young man, Long Shenxing narrowed his eyes and Wu Lingfei also had a strange feeling. Yes? Wu Lingfei asked. He's a cultivator from the South Parting region. I'm sure you've already sensed it. You're right, he has the South Parting source in his body. I hope you two can keep this a secret. Nangan Xing nodded to Long Shenxing and Wu Lingfei. 300 years ago, didn't Nanli region's origin recognize him as its master? How old is he? Wu Lingfei asked in surprise. This junior is Liang Yu. 300 years ago it was my ancestor. Although my ancestor obtained Nanli's origin, he could not refine it. Then he passed it to this junior. The burly young man said. So that's the case. Then can you refine it? Long Shenxing asked. He's a little strange. When he was born, the South Parting sect's source energy had already separated from his ancestor and entered his body. After nurturing it for over 20 years, he has already refined it. Even though he's only at the peak void inquiry stage, he has the strength of an early venerable realm expert. I brought him here because I feel that the South Parting sect isn't safe either. Thus, I plan to send him to the God-slaying squad. Nan Shenxing said. Nangan Xing, I can't make the decision on this matter. Besides, the God-slaying team is a team from the Eastern Shen region. How can we let the future ruler of the Southernly region in? Wu Lingfei asked. VZ Yongdi Long exempt N Phi square root CB small o say, our two regions are considered to be in an alliance. I will be at ease if we throw him into the God-slaying team, Nangan Xing said. Senior Long Shenxing, what do you think? Wu Lingfei looked at Long Shenxing and asked. I don't have any opinion on this matter. However, it still depends on Night Sorrow's opinion. Long Shenxing said. Wu Lingfei nodded. She knew that the main problem was still Night Sorrow. If Night Sorrow was unwilling, no one could do anything about it. Then let's go to Night Sorrow's place and have a look. It's not easy to talk to Night Sorrow when it comes to principles. Xiaolanjun said. Xiaolanjun, Nangan Xing, and Wu Lingfei brought Liang Yu to Night Sorrow's tent. When they arrived, Night Sorrow also came out of his tent. After greeting them, he took out a tea table and began to make tea. Night Sorrow, let me introduce you. This is Liang Yu from the South Parting sect. In the future you two will be brothers who will fight side by side. Xiaolanjun said. I am Liang Yu. Liang Yu extended his fist towards Night Sorrow. I am Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow also extended his fist and bumped it with Liang Yu's. Alright, Night Sorrow, the South Parting sect and our Eastern Shen sect are allies. Therefore Liang Yu wants to join your God-slaying sect. Wu Lingfei directly pointed out the root of the problem. I can't answer this question directly. First of all, we have 30 to 40 brothers. I have to be responsible for them. Therefore I'm sorry. Night Sorrow looked at Liang Yu. Liang Yu had a strong body and a gentle face. At this moment he was also looking at Night Sorrow with dissatisfaction. He was a proud person. Now that Night Sorrow didn't accept him, he was a little angry. Night Sorrow, there is no problem with Liang Yu's character. He is also strong enough to fight against venerables. Besides, now that we are working together, we have to be open to each other. Liang Yu, Night Sorrow is responsible for the members of the God-slaying sect. You should know that the God-slaying sect has fought many times and killed many major forces without losing a single member. You know what this means? Xiaolanjun said. Night Sorrow, make the arrangements. Liang Yu is very important to the South Parting sect. Wu Lingfei said. Then cultivate with me. Yun Huang and Ling Long. Night Sorrow nodded. Then Xiaolanjun and the others left. Sit. Have some tea. Night Sorrow nodded to Liang Yu. I have heard about your god-slaying sect. I am very envious. Liang Yu sat down and said, Don't take my rejection to heart. Those brothers have fought with their lives on the line. They are friends who can block knives for each other. If I agreed directly, it would be irresponsible to them. Night Sorrow explained. I understand. A leader like that can't lead a team like the god-slaying sect. Liang Yu nodded. Leader, we are back. Yun Huang shouted as he and Ling Long came to Night Sorrow's tent. Tianyu, go catch some prey. Night Sorrow shouted to Tianyu, who was lying on the side of the tent. Who is this? Yun Huang looked at Liang Yu and asked. He is Liang Yu. He will be cultivating with us from today. Night Sorrow introduced him. Okay. When you become a venerable, let's spar. Yun Huang poured himself a cup of water and said, We can spar even if we are not venerables. Night Sorrow can fight against venerables. Maybe I can too. Liang Yu said. Sure. Let's give it a try then. Yun Huang stood up and walked towards the outside of the tent. Liang Yu also followed him. Then he drew out the fiery red sword on his back. It was a long sword that was as wide as a palm and 6 chi asterisk, 33 m per chi, long. Then let me test your strength. Yun Huang brandished his curved blade and slashed at Liang Yu. Liang Yu swung his sword and sent out a very thick sword light. The sword light and the blade light clashed and cancelled each other out. No. Even if you have the ultimate attribute of the fire attribute, you can't withstand my black baleful lightning. Even though Yun Huang displayed his peak void inquiry stage cultivation base, his lightning attribute was the ultimate attribute of the lightning attribute, the black baleful lightning. His attack was ferocious and it was not something that the fire attribute could withstand. Everyone has some ultimate moves. Let's spar to our heart's content. Liang Yu waved his heavy sword and said. Interesting. Then let's have a good spar. Yun Huang became serious. A purple-black lightning chi barrier appeared around his body. Liang Yu raised his right hand. As he raised his sword, a strong flame chi barrier appeared around his body. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.